Let's go!
This show fucking stinks, and the fact that you listen, we are very, very thankful for it.
AJ, you never cease to amaze me with your toxicity, pal.
You got a couple of these?
God damn it!
What the fuck are you doing?
Fuck Boston
Hello, beautiful people. Welcome to our humble abode, the Thunderdome. On this Feel Good Friday, March 31st, 2023, this sports program starts now.
Feel good!
Friday.
Hell yeah.
Just the name itself, Friday, is like means for celebration. What does it mean? Well, it normally means you have a couple days off to relax and do whatever you need to do. Whether that's go ahead and get shit-faced, relax a little bit, bop your meat, maybe just watch and catch up to some films or TV shows that you haven't been able to watch. That is normally what Friday indicates. It means one more day of doing whatever I got to do before I have absolute freedom.
Hell yeah.
Now, there's a lot of people that obviously work on the weekend and at night, so I do not believe if that's valid for every human out there, but I do know the fact that it's a Friday is a feel-good situation, and today we feel great.
Oh, yeah.
Today's a great day because we get a chance to wrap up all the beautiful stories that have been happening all week. We'll have Ian Rapoport joining us in about 17 minutes.
Okay.
Ian Rapoport, I do believe, on his ass at a beach.
Yeah, in Florida.
Shout out Rap, doing rap stuff.
Rap.
I wonder if he's been able to catch up on any of the news, if we're going to have to tell him the news. Remember, this is an off-season thing whenever we chat with Ian Rapoport.
Yeah.
Normally, we're giving him updates.
Yep.
Hey, where were you at? I was at the Harry Potter Museum. What happened? Oh, I don't know. Russell Wilson just got traded. What?
That's cool.
That's been like what off-seasons have been like with Ian Rapoport. Excited to hear what he has today because those league meetings out in Arizona that he was just at had a lot of handshaking going on. Remember, we saw Odell Beckham Jr. out there meeting with teams. We saw potentially a meeting of the minds between the Jets and the Packers whenever you think about what Gutekunst said out there, what Douglas said out there, what Saleh said out there, and what LaFleur said out there.
Right.
Sounds like there's maybe a little bit of traction happening for that trade to take place when Mike Florio reported on this program and on his website, Pro Football Talk, that the Packers have given up the option of wanting the 13th overall pick, which was potentially the thing that the Jets were like, no, like we can't do that, especially with the situation we're both in. Let's hear what Ian knows.
Yeah.
Let's talk to Ian about what he's hearing. Or is this going to be Ian just trying to get some sun on his cheeks. Down there in Florida. Golfing. Just not following along. That's what we'll find out in about 14, 15 minutes. Can't wait for it. In the second hour, we'll have JC Tretter. He's the NFLPA president, the player president.
Okay.
Now, he did get cut, I do believe, from the Browns, or not re-signed. This normally happens to the NFLPA president if you go through the history of players that have gotten that role. Normally don't play for too long after getting that role. I'm not saying it's collusion or anything like that. It is also a chance that you're not getting that role until you're very late in your career. You know you're late in your career. That is why you decide to go on and try to become the president to see what else can happen in there. But we'll be talking to JC Tretter, current free agent, about everything going on with the NFL conversation around Thursday Night Football and the field turf and what the NFLPA is fighting for whenever it comes to those report cards that were sent around from league to league and why we made those public just now.
Yeah.
Why wasn't that made public years ago?
Right.
Exactly.
And how much of a benefit it's been for the players. And we'll also ask them about like some realistic stuff, you know? Because sometimes whenever people are asking for things like the NFLPA, it's not realistic.
No.
Like, hey, the NFL's never going to be able to go for that because the NFL is a business at the end of the day. What are some of the things, you know, that they're conceding to the NFL?
Okay.
You know, that so that the people, fans of the game, can also hear what the players are like. Okay, we will. Because all you ever hear is publicly like, nah.
Right.
This is deal making at the end of the day. He's in the middle of it all between the players and the league, and obviously the league and media rights and the league and their business partners and the league and everybody else is a big deal. The deal between the players and the NFL, the biggest deal.
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely.
Scrutinized, too.
Yeah, because we all seen what football looked like whenever there was replacement refs. Okay?
Oh,
man.
Imagine replacement players. Hello, XFL.
Yeah.
You know?
There you go.
And I think in this modern era, nobody wants that. Nobody needs that. There's too much money. Business should be glorious together for both of them. We'll see how JC Tretter's staring that down. And then the third hour, we got Reese Davis.
There we
Nice.
College Game Day hosts football and basketball for ESPN.
That's right.
The guys.
He's come on couple times during this tournament and flat out told us exactly what's going to take place. Had a couple misses, but if we're betting on everything, the odds in which he was saying things were winners.
Yeah.
This is winners. Reese Davis gave us winners and storylines that we need to look out for. And it's all kind of unfolding. You're the underdog almost.
Yeah.
Not a single 1, 2, or 3 seed left in the Final Four that tips off mañana. The women's Final Four tips off tonight.
That's right.
Caitlin Clark of Iowa is an 11.5-point dog. I understand South Carolina is probably an incredible basketball team. Are they the reigning champs?
Yes, I think 2-time maybe. I don't think they've lost in 2 years.
Back-to-back reigning champs, undefeated. I'm not saying they're not going to win. I am an avid, I bet on dogs person.
Yeah.
Caitlin Clark is an absolute dog. And I would assume that South Carolina has, players that are very good as well. Feels like we're watching somebody that's a little bit different.
Yeah. Player of the year.
Are they going to lose by 12 or more? I don't think if she's on the court, that feels like a great bet for this evening. Iowa going to lose to South Carolina? Is that just kind of what everybody's saying, Ty?
That's what everybody's saying. I don't believe it. I'm obviously going to fucking fly with the Hawks. Why wouldn't I? But it's interesting because I think Iowa is the most bet team of anyone left.
Fuck.
The line's going the other way. So, all this money's coming in, and some books have it moving to 12.5. So it's very interesting.
Oh, no.
They do have
got that 12.5.
They have last year's defending player of the year. South Carolina does. So we'll see. But like you mentioned, if Caitlin Clark plays anywhere in the neighborhood like she did in their last game, never mind, losing by 11.5 or 11 or 12, they may win. So they have the best player in the country. It's tough not to bet on.
Just 11. That's so many points in a individual sport.
Right.
That an individual can control so much. And I know the team aspect is a big deal. I understand even more so for college basketball as a whole. But 12, come on, let's go. This is my first women's basketball game I think I've ever bet on. I believe I bet on the New York Liberty because Sabrina was doing something against somebody one night. I think I've done that. But aside from that, I'm dabbling. I think I'm going to become a sharp. I'm a sharp. I'm a sharp. Who's a sharp? I think I am.
You are.
Especially after this. This is going to be an easy thing.
Yeah.
Okay, we just find if they're giving us double-digit fucking spreads with somebody who's – I might not know what I'm talking about.
Give me that.
Final Four.
Anyways, Final Four is happening this weekend. Reese Davis will be chatting with us. I have to fire off a tweet right now. Rather important tweet in the history
that's right.
Sure.
of my being. Full 25-page memorandum in support is publicly available on the Southern District of Mississippi federal docket.
Okay.
The website?
Little hint as to what that might be about.
Send. Oh, wait. New Twitter. And send now.
Yeah, clarify.
What's up?
Okay.
Nice.
There we go.
No bars in here?
Got a lot of bars, dude. They're saying it's Weather Aware Friday.
Oh,
yeah,
that's right,
big
the
time.
weather.
What does that even mean? What's going to happen? I wonder if we're just going to cut out in the middle of this. If we do, we apologize. It's not us. It's the
It's the clouds.
Yeah.
it's the.
With storm cell,
Tornadoes.
et cetera, et cetera.
So why is it sometimes and not all the time? Like they say, it's picked up from the ocean and gravity, and don't we have that all the time?
I think so. I don't know
So
what
why
the
is it
deal
just? Why is everything just kind of come
The type
and
of
go?
wind.
This
right?
is supposed to be tearing through the whole Midwest this weekend.
Yeah,
Like,
why is this happening out of nowhere and then
It's molecular, they say.
like these fuckers are living?
Molecules, yeah.
Coming
Speeding them
together.
up, slowing them down.
Well, we hope everybody's okay. We heard there was Mississippi had a tornado the other day, I think.
Yeah.
Nashville obviously happened this week, which is incredibly sad. And then now this storm is supposed to be hitting the entire Midwest. Let's let everybody in the universe know, hey, let's keep fucking going, huh?
Yeah, go.
Let's go.
Keep rolling.
Stay safe.
And let's stay positive to people, too. You never know what somebody's going through. It could be absolutely anything. Speaking of people, I got great ones around me. Ladies and gentlemen, Talks the Table at Boston Connor and at Ty Schmidt are here. Ty, I see you wearing all your New York Yankees garb 2 days in a row. Yesterday had full costume on, couldn't find the pants. Jet passing kind of dunked on you, but you didn't mind.
No.
Your name's Ty Schmidt, but you're named after Ty
Ty Cobb, yeah.
of the
Well, he played for a bunch of teams. He played a long
Jesus.
time ago. But, yeah, I mean, Ty Cobb, one of the greatest baseball players of all time.
So you're a massive baseball fan, massive Yankees fan.
Absolutely.
That is the team that you have fallen in love with.
Right.
And they won yesterday. Congratulations.
They did. Thank you very
Undefeated.
much. Thank
Aaron
you very
Judge
much.
going to hit 162 homers.
He's on pace for it. That's certainly possible. But we talked about it. We talked about it yesterday. Shohei Ohtani, once again, kind of the story of the whole season.
Oh, yeah, I saw some pictures of Shohei. He did something big. He was like fucking unbelievable last night,
Yeah,
right?
there have been 26 pitchers since 1901 who have had at least 10 strikeouts and thrown 6 innings of no-run ball on opening day. He was the first one to ever lose. His team lost the game. He did everything he could. The bullpen blew it for him. The Angels only had 4 hits. He got one of the hits. So it's kind of like what we were talking about.
Since when?
Yeah, 1901.
1901. Mm-hmm. Now, shout out to Sarah Langs, Slangs on Sports. Slangs on Sports.
Nice.
Mm-hmm. Shout out to Sarah. That's great.
That's a great name.
You know what I missed yesterday, too?
What's
I
that?
seen in the comments. We were talking at the end about that kangaroo potentially helping out the earthquaking.
Yeah.
It was obviously cocaine-garoo. You know what I mean? Instead of cocaine-roo. We should have said
Cocaine-garoo.
after Cocaine Bear.
Sure.
Yeah.
So I just want to kind of...
You didn't want to rip it
We
off.
missed it.
It's all right.
But we didn't miss this. Slings on
No.
Sports is fucking on top of this thing.
Absolutely.
1901, dude. That's a long time.
Long time.
This is malpractice.
Yeah.
This is disgusting. What are we talking about with the biggest superstar maybe in the world? Did you see the numbers that we're watching this dude play in a meaningless tournament? How some people in baseball talk about this World Baseball Classic? I was plugged in. I was tuned in. Yeah. The atmospheres were stupendous.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Like
there was
baseball.
energy. It really mattered to these games. And Shohei Ohtani, the greatest baseball player of all time for us noobs, stooges, minds, immediately upon entering the game.
he is.
And then we learned, like, the last person to do what he's doing was Babe Ruth. It's like, well, you guys talk about Babe Ruth like he's the greatest of all time. And it's like, well, this guy actually pitching longer than Babe Ruth pitched and better than Babe Ruth pitched at this particular moment, right?
Yeah, I mean, he is the best talent in the history of baseball.
And he's also one of the biggest superstar in baseball. By far.
Getting paid the most this year in terms of, off the field endorsements and then what his actual salary is.
70 million people watch this guy play baseball against South Korea. I understand that. And who knows what ratings are. We get it. Everybody's lying. This dude puts up a historic performance.
Yeah.
And it won't get talked about because this team fucking stinks. How can baseball allow this to happen? Like, how can this continue to go? Your biggest superstar, the best player of all time, potentially. He's been in the league now for how long?
Yeah, I think this is his 5th year maybe.
That's a long fucking time. 5 years is a long time as a professional in a league. We've never seen him in a big moment. That's why the World Baseball Classic meant so much.
Yeah.
Because it was the first time we're seeing this guy that a lot of us stooges who don't know baseball think like, this is the one, right?
One, yeah.
This is the game is pitching, the game is hitting. This guy's better than everybody at both of those things. Boom, this is the one. First time we've ever seen him in a meaningful game. This dude does something for the 27th, 26th time since 1901.
A lot of games.
Yeah. A lot of opening days.
And they fucking lose. So it's not even a memory. He had to go home mad because he's like an ultimate competitor. This guy does something that hasn't happened. What is baseball doing? Can we not get him out of there?
It's going to happen.
And how do they suck when they got Mike Trout and Shohei on the team? That's another mind blower to me about baseball as a whole. How does that even exist?
Well, because pitching is, and your bullpen is a massive part. Because that's the thing is if he would have.
So is this the worst manager? It's not manager. I'm sorry. Who's the person that does the rosters? Bean. Moneyball.
Yeah, GM.
GM. Is this their fault? How do they allow this to happen? Is that who we should blame for
you
this?
You could argue that, but a lot of it too is it'd be the same GM, scouts, and stuff like that. Because you have to, in baseball, a lot of times they're drafting these kids out of high school, in high rounds, and then you're hoping that this kid doesn't just stay in the minors forever, or he doesn't get hurt, or he doesn't suck when he actually gets there. Their farm system hasn't been very good. So, Shohei could have pitched the whole game last night, but then that's where you worry about, the injury concern. It's if he would have thrown the whole game and then
they win
5 at-bats, they win, but, that can't be sustained. You can't expect him to throw 9 innings every single, and then also play the field and hit, because then you're going to wear him down and you're going to get him hurt. But this is just, it's a microcosm of what we were talking about yesterday. He will be traded probably at the deadline because it doesn't matter what he does. It doesn't matter what Trout does. They can't consistently win. And he's fucking sick and tired of it. He knows how good he
should
is.
be.
Yeah.
2,430 games, okay? That's how many games are in an MLB season. 1901?
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
that is.
How many opening day games?
Think about how many games as a whole there is, and how many players probably have played in all this league. They're saying this guy is the guy, and they can't fucking win a game.
Yeah. That's the thing about baseball too. Like, think about, if there was like a Mahomes was the number 1 overall pick. That team is good and they're in it. Like, the baseball is just different. Where if you have the best player, the 2 best players in the world, and they can't even make the playoffs, like.
All right, let's move on. Let's not be so negative. Okay,
Sure.
let's not be so negative about it all.
Well, we're saying
How was pitch clock? Pitch clock was good. Everybody loved it.
Yeah, it was pretty good. And we'll see because like it'll depend, but a lot more strikeouts. Like there were like 10 to 12 guys who struck out 10 or more yesterday. Like there were.
How come? Is that because whenever guys are getting in the box, they don't have enough time to get ready?
Maybe. I think pitchers can just dictate the pace much easier. So like it'll definitely take the hitters, I think, some time to get used to. But I think they were expecting a lot of hits, a lot of runs, and there were only a couple games that scored a bunch of runs. Like the pitchers dominated yesterday.
I have a question, which was not expected going into the season, but we don't know if yesterday is how it will always be. Hitters might be able to get used to this as well as they face it.
Right.
And they got a lot of time.
A lot of time.
161 more games for most of these. So I have to be in here by 8, right?
Yeah.
15-second whenever there's nobody on base, 20-second when there's somebody on base.
Yep.
I have to be in by 8 left on the pitch clock.
Right.
So that pitcher, technically, does he have to be set by 8 or in by 8?
I think that's why the guys can dictate the pace. So like if you throw a pitch and a guy swings and misses, you can get on the mound and come set right away, and that starts the clock like immediately.
No, but I'm talking about like when he comes in there, he just has to be in. Reese Davis, I think he's on TV. We're going to be talking to him in a little bit.
No big
Shout out
deal.
Reese.
Yeah.
Appreciate you, Reese. But like, so when they get in, that is 8. And
Yeah.
then do they have a moment to get set?
Yeah. So, but by 8 they need to be looking at the pitcher.
Active pitch could come.
Exactly.
So if the old buddy's out at 9, I mean, pitcher, you're
Yeah.
Guy for the Red Sox got
Quick
called
pitching,
out.
guys.
you're quick
Yep.
pitching the shit. Like that's my first move. I'm thinking,
Right.
okay, if this person ball has to be pitched, could be pitched at 8, regardless of what this fuck's doing. If old buddy's anywhere near at 9, I mean, you're already before that person's even in the box. You're getting ready
for
right?
sure. And that's why guys can dick with like you have that 8 seconds. Like your first pitch, you might throw it right when he's in the box at 8 seconds. Your second pitch, you might wait until it's down to 1. Like you can mess with the timing. Guys only get 1 timeout. So like if they burn that early in the count, then they're kind of fucked, and they just have to sit there and wait, and the pitcher
I
can
like the
dictate
strategy
everything.
that's kind of getting at it here. I think batters will get used to it.
Games were quicker, too. They were.
26 minutes is what it was said in the preseason. Is that what it was like yesterday as well?
Roughly. I mean, again, that part of that has to do with like how good the pitching was and how many strikeouts. But like the Yankees game started, I think, at 1:05, and we had a break in the show and went back out there like around 2:05, 2:10, and it was in like the 5th inning already. So
We like that. Normally that'd be like second or third.
yeah, for
need
sure.
that.
So like things were definitely moving quicker.
Okay, and sitting in for Tone Diggs, our birthday boy that took a trip with the family. Miss you, Diggs.
Miss you,
Miss you,
Toad.
Happy birthday, Tone.
Birthday, Tone.
Pee in my mid, baby.
Yeah, man.
Dog, dude. Absolutely, bro. We might see his mock draft, his first one.
Oh, excited for that.
Remember last year we created this Mitz mock because Mitt loves the draft process and studying tape,
You watch highlights.
not highlights.
Bing.
Yeah.
Boom.
Loves diving in. Was potentially going to be a scout. Okay, that was potentially going to be Mitt's life mission. Now we don't know how that would have worked out. There's obviously a lot of different strict things that come with that world. He did go to a Catholic school, so maybe he would have been able to operate somehow.
Sure.
We don't think he would have been able to flourish as much as he has here, obviously.
I don't think so.
No way.
But he loves doing it, loves the draft. Last year we created Mitz Mock. We said, all right, we'll
It
give.
was like 10K, 20K.
grand.
I think, I forget the exact amount. 10,000. Man, we get a $10,000 bonus if you end up in the top 2 of the mock draft.
Point
Right.
system.
In a point system of like team, position, trade happening.
Player.
If you get it all, how many points? You came in dead last out of how many? 5?
We did
Yep,
like
yep.
5 of them?
5 or 6.
It was like Schrags, it was Mel Kiper,
Yep,
McShay,
Jeremiah.
Jeremiah, Danzu's probably in there. But anyways, those guys been doing it a long time. This year, it's going to be your best year.
Yep.
Remember, the biggest learning curve in the NFL comes from your first year to your second year. That's what you're going to do with year 2 of Mitz Mocks. You're going to win this thing, man.
boy.
Let's go, fucking go. I'm pumped.
Yeah, we forced him to kind of make one like 3 weeks ago.
Yep.
Yes.
So he kind of like got into the game.
He's ready.
I think today's the day we're going to debut his first one. Good luck out there, Mitt. We're happy for you. Joining us right now is a man who's tanning his cheeks down in South Florida. Guy who's a senior insider for the NFL, the NFL's website, the NFL's network,
What?
and the NFL streaming service, NFL Plus. host of The Insiders, where he, Garofolo, and a known hater,
That's right.
That's right. Turncoat.
Tom Pelissero, put on T-shirts and do a little punditry about their inside information. That podcast is available on all podcast platforms. And he's the host of the weekly wrap-up with Rap Sheet and Friends, us being the friends, he being Rap Sheet. Third time on this week. Bit much, but we love it. Ladies and gentlemen, Ian Rapoport.
What's up, guys?
Sick
What's going on?
shirt, bro. It is
Wow.
WrestleMania weekend. You getting ready down there? Where are
Oh,
you?
is it? I'm in an undisclosed location in South Beach. It is lovely. The sun is out. And I'm, I would say relaxing with some water by a pool.
That's awesome. You're at Fontainebleau. I read about the owner of that place a couple of weeks ago.
Is that right?
Obviously, with I believe he's friends with Tom Brady.
Oh, cool.
I think
Was
that's
he
how.
Sugar Tits?
I think that is not. He did not play. I don't think he was in football. This guy works. I think he's at work. Works. But congrats to you. Your sunglasses are a mirror, so we'll get to live your vacation through you here. What
You want me to take them off?
No. You do whatever you need to do, man. So you're on vacation right now. You're working. Are we making calls? Are we getting information? What are we doing today, you believe?
I would say today, I went to the Mets game last night. There'll be some calls. It's always, people can always call and reach out if anybody has news. I would happily take it, especially right now while on the show, so I could break it on the show, as I love to do.
Oh, that'd be. You wouldn't break it on the show. You would
Never
actually
do that.
break the show, get off the show,
Right.
break it. Then
I
we would have to
leave
read
the show
it.
and
Exactly.
stuff like
Yeah, which is all good, by the way. That's how it's supposed to be. We're supposed to react. I mean, that's the whole thing. But I understand what you're saying. So no, you're not
that. No,
working.
it's
Got it.
just a couple days. Free agency was long. Owners' meetings was long. Just a couple days to get away and rejuvenate before draft season.
Hey, you've earned it, pal.
Good for you, Rap.
You've absolutely earned it. Love the fact you send the kids off to a camp 2-3 months, take a
Hell
couple
yeah.
days down there. Ian, we fucking love the way you operate. Let's talk about some things that happened this week that maybe you learned a little bit more information at the league meetings. Obviously, all parties talked about the Aaron Rodgers, New York Jets, Green Bay Packers situation. Both GMs, both head coaches, they all kind of said the same thing. That would have been a perfect setting to kind of meet in the same room and maybe negotiate how we could get this done, because Florio said in our show that allegedly, reportedly, the Packers have kind of given up. They're like, we don't want the 13 anymore. Did that happen at league meetings? And is that accurate from your sources?
Okay, so I don't know that 13 was ever or is ever being traded. Like, if you're the Jets, that is a very, very valuable asset, right? Like, the 13th overall pick is, like, you're getting, if you hit it.
Very valuable. Could get a 4-time MVP with it.
Yeah.
Also
Very, very
Right.
valuable.
Also
Very-
valuable.
No, go ahead. Yeah, I know what you're saying.
That
Yeah,
is true.
Yeah.
No, you're right, but that is true. However, so let's say the Jets are saying, like, hey, we would never give the 13th pick, which I believe that to be the case. That's okay, because remember, it's all a chart, and you can basically put in each pick depending on the different charts you have, whether you have a Jimmy Johnson chart, whether you have an analytics-based chart, whatever it is, each pick has a value. So you can say, like, all right, well, if you're not going to give 13, we want to get, let's say, a first-round pick. We can say 2 2s and something else, and that equals what we want. So even though 13 is, probably not available, they can still get really good compensation by putting a bunch of other picks together.
10
adding it up and
sevens.
doing the
You know what I mean?
Right. 8 6.
10 sevens,
Couple comp
5. You start doing the math, those things add up,
Yeah.
Can't go broke taking a profit. You know
So
what I
it's
mean?
funny. So it's like, I was trying to, when the Jets traded Elijah Moore, what they got back was, it was either 42nd
Of course.
or 43rd pick, right?
Sunscreen on the
Yeah,
The
music's
package,
loud.
and so the Jets have 42 and 43. Oh, can you guys hear me okay or not?
Yeah, I mean,
Oh, they just turned the music on where I'm at. I'm sorry.
no. It's not your. Don't be sorry,
not
Ian. Do not be sorry to us. This is a Feel Good Friday, pal.
Yeah.
We are happy for you.
Live it up.
So you do what you need to do. Don't worry about it.
Do you want me to move?
No, hey, your vacation.
hear me okay,
Hey, it's
though,
your
right?
Friday. It's your Friday too. You know what I mean? Do not. This is not our decision to tell you where to go, pal. You're in your WrestleMania shirt.
Yeah.
So cool.
You see these sunglasses?
Oh, my God.
At the Fontainebleau? Rap. He might be able
Anyway.
to. You know, he's going to find out. He's going to find. People are probably putting bids together to buy the Commanders in that hotel.
There's good
Where
chance.
he's staying right now?
Yep.
Oh, my God. I think they filmed some Succession series
Yeah.
in this hotel down here.
right.
Rap, you're lit. Hey, let's go, Rap.
Boy, Rap.
Hell yeah, Rep. All that hard work, you deserve it, bro.
Anyway,
Oh.
so basically what I was saying before I was interrupted by whatever terrible music this is.
Whoa.
DJ's bad. Okay.
Basically, 42 and 43 could equal a first rounder. Like, there are different ways to get to it, is my point.
Okay, so do you think they were doing any of those conversations at the league meetings? That feels like a time where things get done. Is that normal or no?
It's actually weirdly not. I mean, I know every decision maker is kind of in the same place, and like you would think, but it's such a different sort of non-work vibe. Like, I imagine conversations happen, but I don't. I think there were 2 deals in the entire league that went down at the league meeting, and they were both by the Falcons, Blaise Campbell and Scotty Miller. I think that was it. There's just not a lot of deals that go down, and it does sound like Gutekunst and Joe Douglas talked during the league meetings, but I didn't get the sense they got any closer because there's still no deadline.
Did you know that Goody had great hair?
Oh yeah,
Dude, that was my first time watching him speak, I think. I didn't really know, and maybe he just doesn't have it done whenever he's sitting at the presser in Green Bay or whatever. He had a fucking good piece of lettuce.
Oh, yeah.
Sweet.
And I'm seeing videos of Jordan Love training with Aaron. He looks good.
Oh, yeah.
And then you think about that game against Philly. This might be a time where Goody looks back on it and is like, yeah, you remember when we had made that incredibly, terribly difficult decision to move on from Aaron and it worked out with Jordan Love? There's a chance that happens. Because that legit looks like an NFL ball, right?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
That's on a line. It's not like anything loose. We're watching these pro days wondering if somebody could be a fucking NFL quarterback. You watch these balls, it's like, okay, that's an NFL ball. And then you remember what he did to Christian Watson. But this all has to, there's a step that has to take place before we get there, which I think we're all just kind of, when's it going to
Patiently wait.
When's it going to happen,
I mean,
Jordan, too.
But it's funny because, I'm sure, and it's funny because this is all amazing for him. Like, he's getting, had Aaron come back to Green Bay and told them, hey, right after the season, I'm all in, let's go. It would have been really hard for Jordan Love, especially because, he's sort of advanced to the point that he can be a legitimate starter. I don't think they would have traded him, because why would you? He would have just had to sit again, knowing that he's ready. Like, that all would have been hard. This is amazing. And, it did sound like him and Aaron have a good relationship. It sounded like Aaron has helped him kind of along the way. Like, for Jordan Love, and I know we've been focusing on Rodgers for a long time, as we should. This is all amazing for Jordan Love.
I think so, too. And I hope he's fucking great.
Yeah.
And I'm excited to see how the whole deal goes down and when it does. We're all eagerly awaiting. Connor has a question for you, Ian.
Yeah, Rap Sheet, there's a lot of talk about the Lamar contract, and now there's this whole entire thing that Jeremy Fowler said that he's not asking for a fully guaranteed contract, but the way it was worded was weird. Is he asking for $230 million, but not that being the full guarantee, or is it like $200 million? Do you know what the number is that would be for him and what the years would be?
So I don't believe there is like a quote unquote number, say like I must have this contract, because if it's a 3-year deal, then I do believe he would want it to be fully guaranteed. If it's a 5-year deal, then I don't believe it would need to be fully guaranteed. It would just, the full guarantees would have to be basically what he wants, like basically even with his ability, right? So it's not like he's like fully guaranteed deal or bust. He just wants enough fully guaranteed to where he basically has to sign the deal. It's hard to get there, but this whole week was interesting because he does the trade request publicly as Harbaugh is sitting down, very calculated. However, he also, in the course of the past week, had been negotiating with the Ravens on a potential deal also. So he went public with his request, but also negotiating, in good faith with them. It made me think that it's about money.
How'd you know that?
And made me think they could get some. What's that?
So they're negotiating. That's brand news. I didn't know that was the case. They are negotiating as of this week, Lamar in Baltimore?
Yeah, I mean, I believe it was last week, but yes, like within the past 10 days, he has been negotiating with them while also going public.
When he put that tweet out a couple days ago.
Yeah, it was this week.
So the tweet was this week, though, right?
Monday.
The tweet was Monday, and I think, so Last week he had been negotiating with them, and then Monday he goes out with.
Oh, so obviously there was zero.
Yeah, no movement.
Well, maybe there was some movement,
Right.
but
No.
nowhere near enough. I thought you were talking
No-
about them
nowhere
negotiating
near,
like
right.
this week.
Yeah.
I thought it was like after the tweet goes out, they're still negotiating. I'm like, whoa, that's a big piece of information there. Then
That would have been
Because
that would have been very similar.
I think a lot of us just assume he's not going back because of page 2 of the letter to his fans that he put on Twitter, and it's like, all right, I guess we'll just kind of watch as it goes.
Yeah.
I'm excited to hear that Fowler said, he doesn't want fully guaranteed money. He quote tweeted the 133 million tweet and said, I need an agent, and I'm supposed to get this. It's like, who knows what the number is? Is it more than what Deshaun wants? Is it over 200 million he wants? Interesting. Another one, Odell Beckham Jr. So that meeting happened out at the league meetings where he gave big dap up to Saleh.
Yeah, clean.
And Joe Douglas, you saw his commercial fridge-sized back.
Huge.
He's kind of standing in the frame as well. And I think there's somebody from a different organization in New
Joe
Jersey
Shane.
in the background there. Did Odell just kind of meet with everybody, only a certain amount of people? And did you look at him and say, this dude is the coolest dressed human of all fucking time, whenever you saw him?
I mean, his Mariners hat was amazing. That was I was awkwardly standing by the front door, like just chit chatting as he walked in.
Oh,
We
was
got a big
Stefanski?
tap up, me and he pulls up, he gives Stefanski some love, and then I get a big bro hug as well, which is that was a great moment.
what?
And then he went in and but yes, I mean I would say
Hold
he was
on.
immaculately
Hold
dressed.
on, hold on, Ian.
Go ahead.
And we need to get into your side of it. The Stefanski dap up with OBJ not planned, you don't think?
Oh, I mean, definitely not planned because
Okay.
I'm literally standing in the front door talking to Stefanski, and he goes, "What are you looking at?" And I say, "I think Odell just pulled up." He goes, "Oh, O's here?" And he just walks out and goes and says hello.
Oh.
Wow.
Okay. Because it did look very natural, which is good, but I also didn't know if they were trying to set that up as like, hey, I'm going to be there, would love to meet you. And there was just so happened to be a camera,
I miss you, bro.
like right on it. It was like, because that Cleveland situation was obviously very loud.
Yeah.
And it also carries, I think that's a big deal for OBJ, that Stefanski, O's here, still loves OBJ. For any other team that is potentially thinking about getting Odell Beckham Jr., there's always going to be the portion of humans that are like, it's not worth everything. It's like, seems like he's loved pretty much.
Everyone's
I don't know. I mean, I know what the reputation is, and like obviously in Cleveland it didn't end well, but like they loved him in LA, man. Like they loved him with the Rams.
And they loved him
I know
in
a lot of
Cleveland.
players-
Look at look at Owen and Coach Stefanski.
Oh,
Yeah.
it's Stefanski.
Look at Owen Stefanski.
Right.
Oh.
Yeah, so I mean, I think his reputation is. I mean, he's a little bit older now. Like probably has matured. Like he's a pretty well liked guy, I would say.
I think so as well. So after he daps up Stefanski, he feels obligated to dap you up because he doesn't know who you are, but you are in an NFL sanctioned event.
Right.
Doesn't know who's looking at what, has to do it.
Be a nice guy.
Daps you up, good dap. You probably gave him a fresh one. We like that happened. Is he mean with everybody? What do you think the setup was? Was it like Derek Carr in Indy at the Combine where he was kind of like just holding meetings there? What is this like, and was it productive, we think?
He did not have an Airbnb.
Cheaper.
No, he basically. So as far as I know, he met with. And you mentioned the Joe Douglas solid conversation. I believe the Ravens he met with as well, and I think at least one other team. It was like he literally lives there. He was training there. Like get to meet him. It sounded like the meetings were really positive. In the end, it's about like money, like is there offers, and I think with the Ravens, you got to get. I think Lamar's going to be there this year. That's what it seems like. But, like, you don't know what's going to happen. So if you're a receiver, you sign with Baltimore, like, are you 100% sure Lamar's there? So I think there's some questions there. But I think the meetings were pretty positive.
Hell yeah. All right, that's good news. I'm hoping to hear that Odell Beckham Jr. is going to a team that we love.
Yes.
Because I can't wait to see him back out there. It looks like, hey, sounds like you're at the place to be.
Yeah, it
That
does.
place is jumping.
On this particular Feel Good Friday, we got a Weather Aware Friday happening here in Indiana and all across the Midwest. Sounds like that was not the case where you are at right now. All great vibes around Ian Rapoport right now, it feels like.
There's some good vibes. I got the pool kind of to my left. Some people, you would not believe this, but it's early. Some people are drinking already. Can you believe that?
Yeah,
What have you had?
What?
What have you had?
What do you mean?
What? Can I get a margarita?
What?
Sangria?
What?
Margarita?
What?
Is that what you've been doing over there? Tequila?
What?
Yeah, he's at the bar.
Yep.
His phone just dropped in the pool.
Yeah.
Oh, Saved by the Bell.
All right. See you, booze bag. Have a great day. We appreciate you, ladies and gentlemen. Ian Rapoport. His phone actually overheated.
Yep.
Too much fun.
Yeah, makes
What a
sense.
joke.
That shirt.
He's living, dude.
Chilling.
See those glasses he had on?
Yeah,
Those were
awesome.
awesome.
Sweet.
Imagine walking into a pool party and Ian Rapoport just sitting there. Glasses, WrestleMania seat.
Who's that little guy?
Whoa.
I assume.
Come
I
on.
assume some people said that. Sorry.
Nobody said that.
Come on. That's the
Definitely.
coolest he's ever looked.
People
On our
definitely
show?
said that.
Yes.
Yeah, that's the best I've ever seen Ian Rapoport.
For sure.
Can't you see him like sitting on one of those Long Beach chairs with his feet like dangling down and he's like kicking around on it?
Yeah, I can see it with a drink in hand.
Yeah, exactly.
Maybe fidgeting with a straw
Yep.
Sure, yeah. Someone check that guy's ID.
About 30 Bud Light bottles clanking around at his feet.
on this side over here.
Yep.
Yeah, I've seen him there, yeah, in my head at least.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
He's always calling, though, from that, dungeon
A weird room.
in the basement of his
Right.
house.
His bop room.
We don't know what he does in his off time. There is a chance, allegedly, potentially, that he does go down there and bop.
Who's to say?
Dirty bop, that's he's down there.
Exactly.
Just doing it when cameras are on down there, though, Ian.
That's a good point.
Because
That's
I
a
do
good point.
believe,
Yeah, the thrill of it.
So he does his TV hits from that basement.
Yep.
He does the calls with us from there. I think he lives in there. I think so the fact that he has an opportunity to go down to a pool in South Florida, I'm happy for Ian.
Yeah.
He gave us everything he had. Did we learn anything? No, he said,
No.
No, Lamar and them were talking last week.
Other than Stefanski said, O's here.
that's a big deal.
That is a big deal.
Because he was happy. First of all, Rapoport, tippy-toeing. What's going on over there? You know what I mean?
Yeah, Jerry?
Oh, no, it's Odell Beckham Jr.
Hotel.
How about O, though? And Ian Rapoport wrapping up.
Sweet dap up.
How cool do you think Rap felt? Rap looked around immediately, saying, anybody
Yeah. Post there.
Anybody
Where's
See
Tom?
that? You have a picture of that?
Yeah, Arrow.
video? Speaking of that type of situation, I saw Jay Glazer in the back of a Sylvester Stallone video on the internet.
What?
So cool.
When?
Sylvester Stallone and Pacino, I believe.
Oh, yeah. I know he's tight with both of them.
And, I mean, how do you make that? How do you make that a Mount Rushmore? Jay, Pacino, Stallone,
What?
Guy Fieri.
Oh.
That was the fourth person in the video.
That's not how Stallone said it.
That's how.
What's Stallone,
What's Stallone say?
Oh, Guy Fieri.
Well, when you're
Sloan
Rocky,
Italian, he said that?
yeah,
What
you're
the
allowed
hell?
to say whatever you want whenever you're Rocky. I saw this video on the internet yesterday. Actually, it was sent into our group. Somebody else saw it on the internet. I watched it.
Yep.
Jay Glazer's fucking in there.
He is
Yeah, he
connected.
had a great week.
Yeah, Zito just said in my ear that video potentially from 3-4 years
I was going to say, I do remember
That's
that.
pre-COVID video?
I believe so.
Whoa.
They were
That's
doing
a long
like a
time ago.
documentary or something. And yeah, big launch party.
All right, let's start talking about some stuff that's yeah, here it is. This is from the mayor of Guy Fieri, Mayor Flavorton.
Does Al Pacino have braids?
I'm about
He
to
looks
introduce the great Al Pacino to the great Guy Fieri,
Oh, no.
who's going to make some great food today.
Jay,
Yes,
Jay.
What's going on? Tell him where to
here
get
he
it.
is. Guy, look who it is.
What's going on in the back here? Guy Fieri's in the fucking
The
kitchen.
meeting of the Titans.
Hell yeah.
Where's the vat of donkey sauce?
It's back here. He's hungry. He's always hungry.
Of course.
Boom.
Guy Fieri kept his cool there.
He did.
Didn't he?
Oh, yeah. He's a star. I mean, he knows.
He had salt and stuff on his hands because he just got done, beating up some
sauce.
Doing it.
And they say, hey, sir, I wish I had clean hands when I get to shake your hand now. I would never wash this hand again, but I got donkey sauce and stuff all over.
Lick my
it.
fingers.
Sorry, Al.
Fucking shout out Guy Fieri and Jay Glazer hanging out with Sly Stallone and Pacino 4 years ago.
Unbelievable.
Thought that was from this week, obviously. Let's move along. Belichick earlier this week said one of the most savage things we've heard in a long time from Bill Belichick. Mostly, Bill Belichick is known for being an absolutely miserable prick to the media.
Yes.
Okay? Win, miserable. Lose, certainly more miserable.
Nope.
Give him nothing, fuck them all. Has been his mindset towards the media at his press conferences for his entirety of his career as a New England Patriot head coach. I do not know what he was like when he was with the Giants or the Browns, but we do know that since becoming the greatest coach and greatest GM of all time, he has certainly handled the media in one particular way, and that is a game.
Yeah.
You were saying something. I'm answering your question and saying literally nothing to you. And if you come back to me, I'm going to visibly be pissed off about it and move along. Greatest coach of all time. Okay?
For sure.
By far,
Yep.
This is how he handles the media. So whenever he kind of uses a moment there to kind of dunk and flex a little bit, and he says like, hey, Patriots fans are wondering what they can be optimistic about. And he goes, oh, I don't know, the last 25 fucking years is what his answer was. It was sweet. Now he has gone on to a radio station, I believe, and addressed that part of thing. We're not resting on our passionies. That's not the message to the team or the fans. Belichick told the Boston Globe at Louisiana State's Pro Day, we have never operated that way and aren't now. I love that because he dunked for the first time ever. Somebody's like, excuse me, are you saying that the past success is what fans should just automatically... I would love to see his face while he was answering that question as well, having to address it all. I love Bill Belichick. Still has his fastball. Mm-hmm. Still has the mind for football, it sounds like.
Always will.
Are they ever going to win again? You guys ever going to win again with Bill Belichick?
The Super Bowl?
Just win.
I mean, we went to the playoffs 2 years ago, but that's the thing.
The Colts went to the playoffs 2 years ago.
That's my point. Like for some organizations, 3 years ago, Phillip Rivers. For some organizations, it's just different. Like winning for Patriots fans is the fucking Super Bowl. Like for a lot of other teams, Foxy has been saying it for years now.
Not a lot of other teams.
No, true, but for
you're trying to do the whole like, well, for us it's different than a lot. It's not a lot of. It's the Lions.
Yeah. For most teams, it's Super Bowl or bust. And then there are teams like the Lions where it's 10-7 in a playoff win, and that's the greatest season of all time. So, like you were asking if they'll ever win again, they're probably not going to win a Super Bowl in the next 5 to 10 years.
No. How old will he be? He'll be 80.
Well, but look around. No teams in this room or area is going to win the Super Bowl in the next 5 to 10 years.
Yeah, we just got a brand new head coach though. Guy's young, could live forever.
Yeah, exactly. So Jordan
Love could be a guy for the next 20 years.
Yeah, he could, but they'll probably fuck that up. And the Lions.
No, you talking about ours?
Come on.
I'm talking about basically everybody.
Oh, okay. Yeah, probably.
Yeah. There's a massive chance. So, like, I don't know if it'll ever be the Super Bowl or bust again, because that's not what it is now. And that's why what Belichick said I loved, because, I have lived a football life that is only known AFC championships and Super Bowls. Like, after that, yeah, there is going to be a little drop-off, and that's where the Chiefs are now.
You think Bill ever looks in the mirror and goes, do I still got it? I don't think so.
No, I don't think he pauses to take a moment, ever.
So, like, when he's brushing his teeth.
Yes.
And there just happens to be, he doesn't have a mirror in his bathroom?
I know, he probably has one of those.
He might not. You've seen the way he walks out to those.
Yeah, he might not.
He has a mirror that's, like, small, like Matthew McConaughey in True Detective, where you can only see your eye in it.
Why does he have that?
Look himself in the eyes, know that he still has it.
Oh, so it's not about what everything else is. That's all just a fugazi.
No, and if he is brushing his teeth, taking a moment, it's not about the shit before. It's about, like, who am I going to draft in the 5th round this year? Like, well, what pick?
Yeah, but aren't you worried maybe it's not like that anymore?
No.
I mean, at some point.
Yeah.
No, not at all.
How old is he? He's 70. How old is he?
72?
Yeah.
Going to be?
You might be thinking, like, what am I going to watch before I go to bed tonight?
Yeah, what if he's like, oh, The Last of Us, new episode?
Yeah.
What if The Last of Us captured him? Like, what was something that happened a year ago whenever he decided to hire a defensive guy as his offensive coordinator? What was the show? Did Tiger King...
Game of Thrones.
Yeah. Did something get him where he got, can't focus on football as much? Who do you want as offensive coordinator? Who's watching this game with me? Oh, Matt is.
Patricia.
You're a fucking offensive coordinator. Is that what's happening behind the scenes? Are we worried about that at all?
No, not at all.
I'm not saying that's happening. I'm just asking questions that I think
there
need to be asked in good sports media journalism.
Right. Yeah, and there's a situation where maybe there's a Marvel movie, that Black Panther 2 came out in November. Who knows? Maybe he was looking forward to that, Wakanda Forever. But when you listen to, like, Lombardi talk about Bill Belichick and the people who are around him and know him and how he loves it and, he's happier than ever, having fun. The media portion, that's all we get to see. But, like, the players, when they talk about him, it's like he's fun, he's awesome. That 25 years quote, a lot of the former players Bruschi,
Right.
Asante Samuel we saw
Right.
yesterday.
Yeah.
They came out and they're like, this is not very Belichick-like for him to say 25 years, that last
That's what I'm
two
saying.
decades. Yeah, it's not like him at all.
This is a very. What if he's brand new? What if he is just a human now?
Yeah.
What if he has become a human?
I think
Is that not scary a little bit? I think it scares me if I'm a Patriots fan. It's like I'm happy for Bill. I was like, you see Tom on that beach?
Oh my God.
Having a great time.
Yeah.
Have you seen what Peyton's done since he's been retired?
Having a
Just
good
chilling.
time.
Oh, yeah.
Like these guys, I think they get scared to death of retirement. They get very, very worried. I think we saw it happen with Aaron.
Yeah.
I think Aaron was even going through it a couple different times because all they've known their entire lives, especially these people that are at the top, he came up through the Navy Football Academy.
Yeah.
His dad was a coach there. He's been in football for, all you know is just this forever.
Yes.
And it's been very good to you. It's treated you very well. Your legacy is great. Everybody will talk about you forever. You're normally rather wealthy. You have everything set up for you. Bang, the game is the reason for all this. So stepping away from it is a very difficult decision. Steve Young did a entire special with ESPN this year about the basically feeling as if you fall to the bottom of a cliff and nobody cares that you're down there anymore.
Battered.
Yeah, battered. And you just kind of got to pick yourself up and figure out a way to kind of get up there. So that mental obstacle or fear that a lot of guys have whenever they're thinking about disappearing is like, I'm going to lose my identity. I'm going to do that whole thing. I think a lot of guys, as of late, with the way modern technology is and the way you can still make money off your knowledge of football, even if you're not picked to go to a network or do something like that, I think the modern state where everybody's story seems to matter, I think guys are kind of less having that fear, like stepping away from the game. I think there's less fear of that particular thing because they'll be able to find a new identity or continue to live in the football world somehow and do their thing and make a living for their family and be a success story. So it's like, you see these guys that are at the top retire and enjoy the fuck out of their life. You just have to assume at some point a 72-year-old who's accomplished everything potentially looks around and goes, this boat that I ride on 3 days a year and they record every single moment I'm on this thing and put it out there as if I've ever lived a life, which I certainly haven't. Maybe I do want to just go on like a month where I just kind of enjoy my life and kind of do something else. I wonder if that's ever going to happen for Bill Belichick. And when you hear him say like, the last 25 years, it's almost like and we saw him wear that top hat a couple years back and like all this other stuff. It's like, I wonder when Bill Belichick will lose that fucking competitive edge. Because it is not easy to keep those juices, the competitive juices of just wanting to wake up earlier than everybody else, wanting to watch more tape than everybody else, wanting to grind more than everybody else. Like, that's all your competitive juices. Like, that is what that is. I'm not going to lose because I'm going to outwork everybody. And if I don't outwork everybody, somebody else will beat me. Like, that's the people that are at the top of fucking everything. It's their competitive juice level is absurd. That is exhausting, though.
Yeah.
At some point, you would think that this human would lose that, but I guess there's a chance that he just never does as well, and that's just who Bill Belichick is. But when he says, like, the last 25 years, I think to myself, Bill Belichick has looked back on maybe what he has accomplished, which is good. Like, I think he should at least enjoy what he has created a little bit post-football, as opposed to being a guy that everybody has to hate. Have to hate this guy. It's like, we just watched the greatest fucking run of a coach and a GM that this league is ever going to see. I wonder if he's getting to the point where he's starting to kind of appreciate and maybe step away, but who knows? He might just be a robot till the day he dies.
Well, and I think with him, like, you could see why it might scare you, because the reality, like, a lot of these guys who are retiring, like, you still have half of your life ahead of you. You know what I mean? Like, like you've been in it, and like it's obviously a jarring change when you go from knowing what to expect every single day when you're playing. But it's like a lot of times when you're retiring, it's 40. It's like, okay, now I'm officially in the next phase of my life. Like I can bank
these
on
high-end guys.
Yeah, these high-end guys. I can bank on what I've done, and I can still make money off my name and I can enjoy my family and do all this stuff that I could never do. Like 3/4 of Bill's life's behind him. It's like and
72.
Yeah,
and it's not like it would happen, but you hear all the time of these guys. And again, he's in like great physical shape, and his mind is obviously but you hear of a lot of these guys who it's like, how long has he been coaching? 50 some years. It's like when they're done, like they all of a sudden they get sick and they die not too long after because
Joe
just
Paul,
like
right?
yeah, exactly. And he was older, but like you do hear it. It's like you put everything, every part of your being into doing what he does, and then you retire, and it's like, oh, I don't have half of my life left. It's like I'm in the last chapter here. Like now, how do I deal with this?
Yeah.
Well,
We hope he gets to enjoy it.
Right.
Yeah.
That's all I hope. And I hope he's still enjoying it. But I do like thinking that he maybe has evolved a little bit because even looking back on past success, it's like that means that he has.
Yeah.
Some moment. I think we've seen more in documentaries and conversations where I think he has alluded to how he's been successful and why they've been successful. But I like the thought of him having a cigar, whiskey,
Wide.
with somebody, getting a little tuned up.
Yeah.
A little tuned up. Not just
nice buzz.
nice buzz and going like, we fucking killed everybody
Yeah.
for like 20 years.
Yeah.
We just were, and then a friend going like, yeah, dude, like, and then like breaking down stats, like that human moment, I feel like potentially has happened. And that's why in his mind, when that question was asked about the optimism, the past 25 years,
Yeah.
I mean,
my entire existence in this organization
has been great,
Yeah.
pretty much. It's an interesting thing because the NFL is going to miss him if he's ever gone, which it feels like it never will happen.
Yeah, and like the guys who do retire, like the family thing is a massive thing, and his two sons coach with him. Like I get the whole entire like, hey, he could be a grandfather or something, but he spends damn near every day with his sons because they coach for the Patriots.
Could you imagine just like at 72 with the shape he's in, he could still, not that he would want to do this, but like you can still go through like a backpack tour through like Europe.
Oh yeah.
Like
sure.
you can live. Like you can, I don't want to say sky. I don't want to say like
right.
all of that stuff, but like this dude's entire life has been ball.
Yes.
I wouldn't blame him if he starts losing the.
He'll probably be a lot healthier too, right?
I don't know because that
Like
schedule
those
might
hours?
keep him.
Yeah.
The schedule might keep him in shape. Like I think you remember he was under the squat rack down there in fucking
Bingo.
Miami. So
In Philly when they're trying to
yeah,
get
Philly,
Ertz.
there it is. I'm sorry,
But he'll beat the all-time wins record, and then it'll be, one or two more seasons. But he's not going to do the whole tour thing, I don't think.
how many more games to Don Shula?
I want to say like 43, so he still has at least 4
He
seasons.
got 10 more years.
Yeah.
Well, we'll see about that. But
I'm joking.
Don't you think it's more likely though that instead of like backpacking or doing any of that bullshit, like when he's done with the Patriots, he'll go be like a special advisor or a special assistant for Navy. Like he'll still be around, like he'll do something like that. I think. Like I don't know if
Also, like a Fortune 50 company.
well,
he might
that, I
coach
mean,
lacrosse.
definitely. But I think whatever he does, like football will be involved.
Imagine walking into a board of just think of Succession. When you walk into that board, they place people on board that are of importance and serve a duty, and voting matters at some places.
sure.
Other
Yeah,
places,
unless it doesn't.
unless it doesn't, imagine walking into one of those boardrooms and fucking Bill Belichick is just one of the members of the board and you're giving a pitch and the board has to vote on it or whatever. It's like, this is awesome. Of course you're doing this, Bill. This is the right play. He'll be able to scratch the itch of utilizing his brain somehow. 298 career wins. Don Shula, 328. George Halas, 318.
Yeah, I don't think this is including playoffs because he passed George Halas last year.
What a big joke that is. Adam Vinatieri, none of his playoff points counted in his points scored. So when he was like, most points scored in the history of the NFL, it's like actually 2 years late.
Yeah.
Something
Yeah.
like that. Oh, the most important points don't count. The most important wins
Makes sense.
don't count. That's certainly
That's
that makes a lot of sense. I guess that is because I think there was 13 straight years Vinatieri was in the playoffs.
Kicking field goals.
Yeah, I think.
Crush. Yeah, probably from 2001 till 2000, or probably
10 years to 11 years in the playoffs, deep in the playoffs.
yeah, playing at least like 3 games every single
Yeah,
time
'cause he
too.
obviously won 3 Super Bowls with the Patriots.
Yep.
1 Super Bowl with the Colts.
played in another.
Played in another with the Colts. Played in another with the Patriots.
Yep.
Bunch of AFC championships.
Just think about, every
So
year was
many.
at least an
Yeah.
AFC championship pretty much. Think about how many games that is that they just didn't
It's like
count.
3 whole seasons.
Yeah.
Yeah, if they add that in there, it just didn't count towards the points. Here are the top 10 winningest coaches. Don Shula, 347. Bill Belichick, 329. Okay.
Yeah.
31 playoff wins. It's almost 2 seasons. Hilarious.
Yeah, unbelievable.
That's wins. That's not like,
Yeah.
that's not just games
Yeah.
played. He has 2 seasons of playoff wins.
Yeah.
Not even.
The crazy one really is like, when is Andy Reid? Andy Reid with Mahomes, he might coach till he's 85 because Mahomes is going to be there. Why would he call it at any time soon?
Andy Reid, too, seems to almost be refreshed with this whole new offense.
Yes.
How could you not be with Travis Kelce on your team?
Oh, God.
Travis Kelce, looking at the coach's photo, okay, it was circulating the internet. It was being captioned like, watching Travis Kelce look at the annual coach's photo is literally the greatest thing of all time. I'm like, God damn it. I hate whenever social media people make this as the caption because you're setting Travis Kelce up to not look good. Like that's a tough expectation.
High sell.
That's a tough narrative going into a video, and we are massive Travis Kelce fans. Then watched it, fucking caption was right.
So good.
He is fan-fucking-tastic, dude. Him not knowing coaches that he's played against numerous times.
For sure.
In his own division.
In his own division, yeah.
Just having no idea in the way he goes about explaining it. And then his brother, his own kin here, laughing in his face. It was magic. It was absolutely magic. Those annual photos provide great context and everything like that. It providing us with Travis Kelce roasting numerous NFL head coaches is maybe its greatest gift. So I hope they keep doing that. And big shout out to Travis. You crushed on Saturday Night Live. Crushed on the field. Obviously won another Super Bowl. New Heights is fucking fantastic.
So good.
And him not having a fucking clue who any of these head coaches were, top tier.
Yeah.
I fucking love everything about it. But to the point, Andy Reid's got that guy on the team.
Right.
And he's got Patrick Mahomes. He's got a lot of years left on his soul.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, it's just crazy how, 10 years ago, people were talking about Andy Reid just being like the guy who, and now like we're having the same conversation. He's obviously probably not going to catch Belichick in terms of wins, but like Andy Reid could end his career with 5 or 6 Super Bowls, and then that just like completely changes the narrative. Like, is he, 1A, 1B with Belichick for the greatest coach of all time?
What if Andy Reid is asked a question similar to that? Because we did say him, say Jordan Love. I'm worried about Kansas City Chiefs. I'm so sorry.
It's good from where
he played great.
one quarter, I remember pretty good.
That was awesome. What if he gets asked, hey, if they lose 2 games early, what's something that fans should hear to keep them optimistic? He goes, the last 8 years. What if he says
that'd be
what if
awesome.
he drops the Bill Belichick quote? I mean, that would be a fantastic go-to. He's in the same company as them, which is a wild change of narrative for Andy Reid because all anybody did was talk shit about how he could get there but couldn't win it.
Yeah.
He could get there, couldn't win it.
Blows his load early every year with his play calling and stuff like that.
Andy Reid season was a real thing.
Oh, yeah.
Seemingly did happen. Then he found his match with Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah, exactly.
And then that offense has just become so damn dynamic and entertaining to watch. He's babyface. Andy Reid, full babyface for everything he's done with football alongside Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah, for now. We'll see the same thing that happened with Bill.
I don't know if they're doing that ring around Rosie play.
Oh, yeah. They'll continue.
True.
When I
That's
say
true.
for now, I mean the foreseeable future. But when it's all said and done, the argument will be, just like with Bill, well, he couldn't have done it without Mahomes. That is going to happen.
Yeah, but the only people doing that argument was when Tom Brady left. When Tom Brady left, it was like, who's going to do it? Who's going to do that? I think now any sane person is like, needed each other, like that entire thing.
It'll also be interesting.
You don't think so? That's not happening?
I think that's how we think. I think there's a lot of people who will say otherwise.
I wonder if it'll get to the point where people hate the Chiefs like they did the Patriots because like Mahomes is so likable, Andy Reid's so likable, Kelce is. Like I wonder if people will have the same resentment towards the Chiefs that they did the Pats and like the Yankees and like all the Lakers, like all these teams who win all these championships because it's just different. Like with them in the Midwest, like they're kind of just so likable that I feel like even now they've won and kind of been there and people don't hate him yet,
Jackson was trying his best there, and then
For
he
sure.
hopped right back into it. But
for sure,
the Pittsburgh Steelers had dynasty. They've been loved forever, right? Ain't that right? Pittsburgh
Yeah, outside of like the core like AFC North rivalries, I think every other fan base like at least respects them.
It can happen. It can happen. You could be Pittsburgh's been loved a long time.
Yeah. Well, and now you get so much behind the scenes stuff. Like you get to see Patrick Mahomes was mic'd up playing golf with Josh Allen. It's like it's so much easier to like these guys.
And also, Patrick Mahomes mic'd up for QB1.
Oh yeah,
on Netflix, right?
Yeah,
on Netflix with Omaha and NFL Films. I believe Patrick Mahomes mic'd up. Is it all public? I don't know what's all public.
It is.
Okay, everything's
Kirk
public.
Cousins and Mariota.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I have heard now. My source says have told me that this is going to be phenomenal.
I'm pumped for this.
Like the amount of access that was given by Mahomes, Cousins, and Mariota, kind of how the storylines went, where they were with them. Plus, there's, maybe a quarterback mind potentially piecing this whole thing together. So understands like what can be given away, what can't be given away,
Sure.
what can be asked, what can't be asked, what can be shown, what can't be shown. So it's like I've been told that this is going to be like remarkable. And the more you learn about somebody, the more you tend to respect and appreciate and understand that person, the more you're going to like them. And I think that with Patrick Mahomes, to your point about the mic'd up with Josh Allen and everything like that, I think we're going to learn even more about him. And this is just at this stage of his career.
Yeah.
Who knows what's going to happen going forward about why he does what he does, how he goes about doing what he does, his family, like his kids, like his wife. Like, I think whenever you learn about people, you're less likely to hate them. So back in the day, whenever people were going on these dynastic runs, the only thing people were really known for were all of their flaws and also making them miserable by beating their fucking team.
Yes.
Now it's like, yeah, miserable, beat the team, but pretty relatable human here that is doing this. It's just kind of a different world of whether or not you like or don't like somebody. So I think there's a chance Patrick Mahomes could remain babyface for a long, long time, I think. But how many times can you steal the soul of a stadium and still be like? That'll be the big piece of information that we're going to find out.
Yeah, because you just assume, like people who watch sports, like eventually, like if I love Patrick Mahomes. I love watching him. I don't think I'll ever stop watching him play. But if he has 7 Super Bowl rings, 10 years from now, I'll be like, okay, fuck this guy. Like, I'm sick of
just
seeing
naturally
this guy.
going to happen.
Exactly. That's just the way it works.
Well,
PMI Mitt. Patrick Mahomes and Chiefs are litty, Avi, for the next decade or so.
No cap.
No cap.
Dude, I mean, I think that I could get to the point where I don't like Patrick Mahomes.
You don't like
really
him? What is your deal? You're a known hater? I didn't know that.
I mean, I'm not a hater per se, but like
His dad works in the division.
Dad works in the division. Dad used to work for the Chiefs right before Patrick Mahomes, so I'm kind of a jealous hater here.
Okay.
But
Yeah, Andy Reid came in, brought his own.
Mahomes.
Now, I'm thankful that he got, because he came to Indianapolis
Right.
immediately after that. Now, he had no agent at the time.
Sure.
And I believe his negotiation skills were poor, but he did become the Indianapolis coach special teams.
Okay.
There's numerous conversations I had with him. I'm like, what the fuck are you doing? Like, why is this Bud? I just wanted to just loves ball.
Yeah.
But I do believe coming to Indianapolis was a good move in the full spectrum of Tom McMahon's career. We think it got better for us. It got better because we got to meet you, obviously. But we could see how personal bias-y could lead you to not like maybe a team or a situation or organization. Patrick Mahomes is going to be tough to not like.
Yeah, for sure. And the 7 rings thing definitely could happen. The AFC is so good. Like New England, we talked about this. New England, when they were in their run, it was 2-3 guys that were Peyton and Big Ben. Like
Flacco.
Of course, footsteps. But after that, like there wasn't anybody. Now there's 6.
You know why the AFC is so loaded?
Why? Because they're so bad for?
No. Because everybody knows that they're going to catch up to Patrick Mahomes. I think like that is like
for
the AFC very much understands. We got a big bad wolf in here now, and it is the next generation of it. And he's got Andy Reid. I feel like the AFC, I guess I don't want to say nobody's like Philly's going all in, obviously.
Yeah.
They will just do whatever they can do.
QB talent alone.
But if you're on the AFC side, like, hey, you got to keep up with Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah.
Not that the NFC doesn't have to as well. I mean, everybody's trying to win a Super Bowl, but I think that is like the start. And then Joe Burrow comes in.
Exactly.
And then Josh Allen comes into his own.
Now.
And then Lamar Jackson's an MVP. It's like, holy.
Now Rodgers is coming over. Now Russell Wilson has Sean Payton. Now Jimmy G's reunited with with Josh McDaniels.
Could you imagine Russ and Sean just start lighting it up? I don't think Sean Payton, and we don't know him that well, he said in his conversation with us at Radio Row, you guys have a lot of similar opinions to me when we talk about sport. It was like, okay, so I feel like I know.
Kind of get it.
I kind of get where Sean Payton's coming from. Don't know him personally. I don't think he'll allow Russell to suck.
No.
Like if Russell sucks like he did last year for whatever reason, hey, maybe it took a year. Who knows? I think he'll.
Yeah, see ya.
I think Sean will. You know what I mean?
And they brought in Jarrett Stidham. I don't think that was just to have him watch just in case.
And if Stidham ain't the guy, I don't think Sean is.
Yeah, you can go find. They might draft a guy in the 3rd round this year.
I think Sean has the pull. Not that Hackett didn't, but seemingly Hackett didn't.
Yeah.
I think Sean Payton has the resume, and during his negotiations and conversations, like, hey, if this doesn't work for one reason, they're going to give everything they can to Russell to make it work. They're paying him $180 million or whatever. They are certainly going to try to make it work. I think Sean Payton will not allow it to. I think they are going to be a. I think they're going to be a good fucking team.
Yeah.
I think the Broncos are going to be a great team with Sean Payton. I think Russell Wilson going to have a bounce back year, obviously, because I think Sean's going to force him to. I think he's going to hold him accountable. And Russ doesn't want everybody to think the same way they thought of him last year. That'd be a terrible offense. He has a brand new offense yet again. Going to have to learn his 3rd one in like 3 years or whatever. Not going to be easy. They're going to be good. And Jimmy G knows that offense, right?
Yeah. Already. Yeah, he already.
And they got Devontae Adams still. Lose Darren Waller because McDaniel said, hey, the wedding's at 45, 68, whatever, right before it happened with him. And that's allegedly, reportedly, a piece of why he got traded to the opposite side of the country, even though his wife plays for the Las Vegas Aces in Las Vegas, the same place as the Raiders, and they just got married. So going to the opposite side of the country, seemingly, personally not good.
Right.
But turns out personally was good.
Yes.
Anything to get out of this building with this guy. Seemingly.
Seemingly.
How it's being reported. Darren Waller and McDaniel's not getting along. They got Josh Jacobs back on a franchise tag. He led the NFL in rushing.
Jacoby Myers, they added in free agency.
Defense, they got people. It's like,
Renfro.
hey, the AFC's awesome.
It's loaded. Every division aside from the AFC South, you can make the argument for.
Whoa. It's AFC South dogs everywhere.
No. Actually,
All over.
Really the opposite. But every division, it feels like, has 3 legitimate contenders.
All right, let's get to a break. Not a bad first hour of conversation here, boys.
No.
BMI Mick comes in.
Mahomes fucking stinks.
Mahomes
hate
is
his
too
guts.
fucking good. He's too fucking good. I don't like fucking watching him play.
But you
all
love
the fucking-
LeBron.
You're a LeBron
I
guy.
love LeBron,
Yeah.
love the Cowboys.
I grew up on that, so obviously
So
I
you just
love
love Mahomes.
So you don't think LeBron is too fucking good? Like you think Patrick Mahomes too fucking good? Can't like him. LeBron James though, not too fucking good.
Fucking stinks, actually.
I mean,
Is that what you just said?
yeah, because
Whoa!
That
Shots
Patrick
fired at
Mahomes-
Braun.
Is that Tickner?
defense is
Maybe.
Patrick Mahomes goes
I knew he was a
against
crybaby.
my actual life. Like my dad coaches in the NFL. Patrick Mahomes is terrorizing the NFL, basically terrorizing my dad. And then so
Defend the wall.
I have to sit there and just watch it and just be like, okay, this dude's best fucking football player ever. I grew up just loving fucking football. He does everything awesome. I have to watch him and cheer against him. This sucks.
Got it.
And if Mahomes.
Got it. Okay, it's a different vibe. And LeBron has just been there for you.
Right.
Yeah, like that's just always been my go-to guy.
I understand.
Mahomes
sense.
beats the Raiders, 4 more times in the next 2 years. Mitt's allowance is out. That's the real problem.
I don't know. From what I heard, Mitt's dad, pretty nice house out there.
Yeah, a couple of them.
His 16 days on the lake. That's what he's coaching for.
Bingo. This is just like the 3 days we talked about
Yep.
for Belichick. I mean, that is.
What?
I get 3 days out here, and we film the whole thing, and then we drop it through the summer so people think I'm out here all the time. The other coaches have no idea. I'm not out there. It's season schedule all fucking year, pal.
What does Tom Moore do? Because he's 84.
Yeah, dude. That's a whole nother thing.
Yeah, like what is he?
I thought of him earlier when we were talking.
Yeah.
Didn't get to bring him up. He backed up Johnny Unitas. Still, still coaching in the NFL.
Fucking insane.
He just signed another contract.
He just fucking goes to the football facility.
Yep.
That wakes up, goes to the facility.
Yeah.
That's what he does. That's his life.
Yes.
What are you talking about? Extend a deal? That's how he talks. Of course. Just shows up.
Pete Carroll too.
Committed completely to football.
Yes.
This is it.
Whole being.
They allow me to do it, so I do it.
Why not?
Thank you for your service, all yous.
Hell yeah.
Thank you, football.
Let's get to a break. Mitt, your mock draft will be coming up in the next hour or two. Can't wait for your delivery of that.
Hell yeah.
We have JC Tretter joining us in about 10 minutes, and AJ Hawk joins us in 5 minutes. Holy hell. Be a friend, tell a friend something nice. Take 5. Big brain football. Man, I love this. What is it about this spectacular game that we all love? The passing, the running, the hitting, the kicking, the scheming, the drama, the athleticism.
Let's go, let's go.
Right here, big drop.
I think it's a combination of all of those things, but I believe it all boils down to this. The competition level is fucking awesome.
For the win with 2 seconds left.
A finger can literally be the difference between a W and an L.
What a turn of events!
It's what makes football wildly fun to watch and in turn, wildly fun to bet on, but I digress. The reason I'm doing this segment every week is to hopefully grow the respect for the game and to give love to the players who make all of this shit happen. Not just their skill and their amazing playmaking ability.
What I really like is the finish, man. Not a lot of guys would be able to make that 6 points.
This will be all about respecting these guys' big fucking brains.
Strong like bull. Woo! Smart like tractor.
I'm gonna be smart in this game, man.
Coaches usually get all of the credit in this beautiful minds of football space, but I want to shine a light on the players' brains.
Let's go do this thing, baby. Let's go.
Stuff like Mahomes and Kelce cooking up a last-second drive in one of the best playoff games of all time.
They're playing like that seam is open.
That ball go down immediately.
Bills rush 4. Mahomes throws. Kelce open inside the 40. Breaks a tackle and down.
And stuff like this, all from week 1. How about scary Terry McLaurin recognizing a corner is playing lazy cover 2 technique all game, telling everyone and their mother about it.
Try to let us run by that dude, bro. This cover 2, bro. They playing it so lazy. They're playing lazy over there all day.
Then, in the 4th quarter, when it matters, Carson Wentz hits Terry behind that lazy cover 2 corner.
Taking a shot down the field. There's McLaurin. Out of the dead. And in.
That's big brain football.
Come on, man. Hey, I've been lazy all day. All day.
How about Sunday night in Dallas? Tom Brady asking Mike Evans, "What you want, babe?" And Evans calling his shot. Give me the fade.
Yo, Tom said, what you want? Tom said, what you want, babe? I said, fade.
He knows the man across from him and knows how to beat him.
I know how to get him. He trying to do that little stab. Yeah. I slow played. Back out. I slapped him so hard right now at the line. Watch me see it. I slapped it.
That's some beautiful, big brain football.
Hard to beat in the air. Mike Evans.
Which brings us to our main feature this week, Josh Allen. He doesn't just have a big arm. He doesn't just have big cojones. He has a big old brain, too.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah. Hell yeah. Hell yeah.
Up 14 against the world champs, 3rd and 4. He's across the line from a man who called him trash just 4 years ago. Allen knows that particular man peeks and cheats himself, a big brain player trying to gain an advantage. Often, with eyes more on the quarterback and less on the receivers.
He's thinking you ain't gonna throw a ball deep. So five is literally looking and not even worried about you on the trips.
Allen knows Jalen Ramsey loves sitting on routes, especially on 3rd and 4, the money down. So he tells his guy, Mr. Minneapolis Miracle himself, Stephon Diggs, hey dude, don't run the called route, just go deeper.
Can you take us through the touchdown, just what you saw in that play?
Josh told me, show me just run.
Allen's hunch that 5 would peak and Diggs could get behind him paid off like a same-game parlay.
Their corners were really looking at the quarterback, and Diggs just ran a heck of a route.
Zone cover. Jalen Ramsey was trying to read the eyes of Josh Allen and let Diggs go past him, and Josh Allen soars it over Ramsey's head.
The look on Josh's face when he runs up on Ramsey is quite a, what was that, pal? moment. I'm sure he's saying something like, I knew you would do the exact thing you just did, so I told my guy to adjust, and we beat your ass. That's not trash, Jalen. That's not a garbage pick. No, that's big brain football.
Look him off and he gonna squat. It was simple. I knew it. It was simple. I said, there you go.
I hang my hat on as a player that he got that dog.
Let me tell a tale about this little blue can. Inside there's a nectar love from here to Japan. It's a vibe, it's a time, ice cold over lime, so sublime.
This shit is divine.
It's the beer of choice when you wanna rejoice. Hey yo boys, what's the noise? Wine! Hey Hey yo boys, what's the noise? Well, us and Bud Light have made it official. We bring the stoogery, they bring delish. Feels like a genie just granted us a wish. Cause for all of us, it was love at first sip. Now be a bud, tell a bud to grab some Bud Lights. Going Drizzly Code is what? $5 off tonight. Going Drizzly Code is what? $5 off tonight. Cause if you're living life right and you're drinking Bud Light and you wake up in the morning and you fight the good fight, then you're doing A-okay, doing A-okay. Matter of fact, you're doing great no matter what they say. Now, be a bud, tell a bud to grab some Bud Lights. Going Drizzly Code is wide, $5 off tonight. $5 off tonight.
Wide.
Let's go to the phones. Let's go to Dan in Connecticut. Lovely place here on the 5 Energy phone line. What's going on, Dano?
Oh, what's up, Pat McAfee?
Dan, you are too young to listen to this show. I can tell. I think. How old?
I'm not Dan. I am Owen.
Mitt. Owen, how old are you?
It's so different.
I am at 8.5.
Oh, that's cute.
8.5. If you're telling us you're half age, you're too young to be listening.
That's a record.
It stinks.
What's on your mind, pal?
What do you want to talk about, Owen?
I want to talk about how inspiring this show is and how you're inspiring this whole entire world with how you're talking about sports and how you're talking about your life experience.
Thank you, Owen.
Owen, thank you.
Love you, Owen.
Thank you,
Owen, I'm taking her on
And
the
also, fuck Boston College.
I will let Owen know, if you're still listening, Owen, you're inspiring.
Best kid ever.
Owen, the way you talk about sports is inspiring.
Yes!
I didn't know 8.5 could do that.
Wow.
Shout out Owen.
That time.
Go, Owen.
Hey, Owen. New generation in Connecticut, I guess.
He was making me feel good, too, by the way. He's making me feel good, making the show feel good. He was talking us up. He was hyping us up, and then boom, a little...
Was this Aristotle's brother?
A little misdirection from Aristotle's brother, Owen, at 8.5 there. That was awesome.
I'd say he put his balls on your forehead, but I don't think they dropped yet. So.
Hey.
Why?
Let's go. This show fucking stinks. And the fact that you listen, we are very, very thankful for it. AJ, never cease to amaze me with your toxicity, pal.
You got a couple of these?
God damn it!
What the fuck are you doing?
Fuck Boston College.
Hello, beautiful people. Welcome back to our humble abode, the Thunderdome, on this glorious Feel Good Friday, March 31st, 2023. Hour 2 starts now.
Feel Good
Friday is what we're having over here. We do not know how the weather is where you are, but we hope you are excited for a fantastic Final Four weekend and WrestleMania weekend and everything that's going on. We hope you are fantastic. Thank you so much for watching every afternoon, morning, or evening with us, wherever you are on the globe. We are so incredibly lucky to be here. We are a great group of humans today. The Toxic Table's here at Boston Connor, at Ty Schmidt, and a man who is the a producer of the show, Hammer Dahn. PMI Mitz here. Mitt, known Patrick Mahomes hater. Also, man, they'll be answering your phone calls on the 5 Energy phone line, 1-833-432-3663. That's 1-833-4-DODO. Mitt, when you answer that thing, what do you say?
I answer it and I say, thanks for calling the Pat McAfee Show. You're talking to Mitt. How you doing? And then it's usually, all right, what's your name? Where are you calling from? And then do you got a question or a comment?
There we go.
Boom.
Nice.
Well
Did
done,
they say keep it moving?
I like that you have the good energy because that's a big deal. We had some people answer our phones at another place that were not our people.
Nope.
Hello? What? Yeah, what's your name? Okay, I'm like, that was my mom trying to call in.
What the hell?
Okay, I don't know this person.
Yeah.
These people are willingly wanting to call into this program and be a part of this program and get through on the 5 Energy phone line. I was a kid that called into radio shows. I was a person that called in hoping to get on there. And when the moment arises, you fucking dominate it. So shout out to you, Mitt, being a great guy on those phones.
Shout out to the callers. Just bring the juice.
That's right. Bring the juice. That's all we need. That's all we're looking for. Mitt will be going to answer phones right now. A man who's in an attic in Ohio will be joining us at this exact moment.
Ooh.
He's a college football national champion.
What?
A Super Bowl champion.
What?
A Ryder Cup champion.
What?
A video game community shitstir and pundit.
What?
An NBA pundit.
What?
Father of 10.
What?
But he's not Amish.
What?
No.
COVID survivor, AJ Hawk.
Yeah.
AJ, what's going on with meat? Is that what you're going to say?
Yeah.
I assume.
With what? What happened with meat?
Exactly. I didn't
Bingo.
know what you had
Something
picked up from the show so far today that you just kind of wanted to introduce back into the conversation. Great to see you. You look great. Happy Feel Good Friday, AJ.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's good to be here. I saw a little bit of Rap Sheet. He looks so cool out there at the Vegas pool. What's he doing?
No, it was a Miami pool.
Miami, my bad. Yeah.
Yeah, he's taking a couple of days off. He said free agency was tough.
It got to me.
League meetings happened, and he's just going to take a day, which we hope everybody will do, especially if they need it. He looked very cool. Told us basically nothing other than the fact that Kevin Stefanski said, O's here when talking about Odell Beckham Jr. and went over and dapped him up. That means Stefanski and Odell Beckham Jr. always is good.
Yep, boys.
Which is good news for any team that could potentially pick up Odell Beckham Jr. because there's some people that try to spin the narrative like, his team's – everybody that we have heard from that has ever met Odell, other than those people on a plane, I guess.
Yeah, just those
true.
people.
The people on the plane, I guess, are the only people. Everybody else that has ever met him fucking loves him and loves him being on the team. And the last time he played football, he was very good. That was a long time ago, obviously, in the Super Bowl last year. But he's going to be able to contribute to a team. Hopefully that'll happen soon. That's really all we learned. Did you hear anything from Rapoport that we might have missed?
No, not really. I mean,
what's his deal?
Odell, where's Odell going though? Honestly, what did Rap Sheet say? I didn't see that part.
He didn't say anything. He said he was there with Salah and Joe was there, and he talked to the Ravens.
True that he wants 15 a year? Is that correct? I saw that out there.
Did not touch that. We were probably going to end up talking about that, but his phone overheated because he's once again in Miami at a pool.
Yeah.
Oh.
So the screen actually in the middle of
He's
him.
not drinking yet though, right? He's not drinking.
Well, that's actually what we were talking about when the phone ended. And
Yes, he is.
Yes, he is drinking. Miami Beach, Florida vacation.
Screwball.
Yeah, it looks like. Yeah, maybe
What's
a little.
in there?
There's that pineapple.
Some
actually.
we should call him.
Is that fruit or is that some kind of like insect in there?
Some sort of garnish, probably.
Looks like a pineapple.
We'll call him. We'll find out what that is. Joining us now is a man who has a very important role in the entire thing that is the NFL. He's the president of the NFLPA, player president of the NFLPA. Incredible offensive lineman.
Hell yeah.
Currently a free agent. Ladies and gentlemen, JC Tretter. You're retired. That neck looks real thin. Are you a free agent?
I'm down 60 pounds. Unless somebody's looking for a slow blocking tight end, I'm done.
Okay, all right, congrats.
Yeah.
Congrats. Woo. Was this the plan all along? We were just going to lose all the weight like Morgan?
Alan Faneca and Marshall Yonda.
Yeah,
Morgan Spurlock, you're talking, right?
Yeah,
well,
we did the McDonald's thing.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, that
Supersized me.
Anyways, was this the plan all along? Are you like doing the Peloton? How'd you lose all the weight, pal?
Yeah, it was really hard to stay at 300 pounds. So once I didn't have to eat all the time, it was pretty easy, which wasn't, I lost all my weight during my wife's third trimester, which wasn't the best timing to be, shedding a bunch of weight. So it was definitely a battle in the household there. But luckily, everything went well and feeling good. Knees are feeling a lot better. Feels good not to be 300 pounds anymore.
As a man that is currently in a trimester house, congratulations to you and the bride. Woo! And women are so impressive. This is my first time experiencing this whole thing. Whew. I'm happy that wasn't, I'm happy that wasn't. Mm-hmm. What an insane thing, Jason, isn't it? I mean, it has been. I don't know how many babies you have. It is craziness what's going on right now inside of my wife right now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I got two. So I've been through it now twice. It is wild.
It is. It is. They're bad.
And that the hospital room, intense. Feels very weird. Especially somebody who feels like they're in control most of the time to really be completely helpless and have no idea what you're supposed to be doing. Very weird position to be in.
Okay, so I haven't even I haven't
got to that point yet.
I haven't been to that stage of life yet, but pretty excited to figure it out and experience it, and I can't wait to meet her. Let's talk about your world as NFLPA president. A lot of things that we could chat about. I think the top one that needs to be highlighted is a decision that you or somebody else made that said, you know what, we want the players to look good, and we'd like owners to feel obligated to maybe invest a little bit in their teams. Whenever those report cards were decided to be released for the first time, what went into that decision? And are we doing that forever now, I assume? Is that a new thing that's going to happen? Because I think it's going to make a lot of places better, which is ultimately going to make the entire NFL better, which is what we always have to remember with this type of thing.
Yeah, and when we talked about this at rep meeting from as far back as like the year 2000, I mean, it's always been talked about that we should do something like this. And it came up 2 years ago at rep meeting where a few more guys said, like, man, it would be valuable to know what goes on at each facility. That way we can make educated decisions. So this past year, I had a little more time on my hands without playing football. So I figured this would be the year to do it and trying to figure out the best way to do it, the best way to get people to fill out the surveys, to get involved. And I think it turned out really well. And in the end, it was around this theme that I think fans and media, for the most part, look at these individual franchises as like the pinnacle of player care and amenities. And that's their perception. And I wanted to see kind of if that was true, where it was true, and also where it was not true. And try to figure out what important categories matter to guys and then put it all out there so people can make educated decisions in free agency.
Wow. JC, other than that, where are we at with this whole grass situation? The different kind of field turf they have. They mentioned some are better than others. Now players obviously want grass everywhere. Is there any movement on that front?
Yeah, we got interesting data. I don't think it's been put out there. I think it'll get out there in the coming weeks. I think we've seen the biggest gap. I know last year there was this big push about how it's inconsequential or there's no difference between turf and grass. The data this past year showed that is not true, and there's different as possible as we've seen. There's a very large gap between the two surfaces. So I think that will be. I think I read somewhere that they quickly glanced over that at the league meetings and didn't really dive into those details this past week. But there is a large difference between grass and turf. I think the players are very clear what they want. I think everybody knows what's best. I also think another interesting point will be when the World Cup comes to America and all these owners roll out I guess you'll call it the green carpet for all these soccer teams to play on grass at their stadiums and then roll it back out to put the turf back down for their employees to play on.
Yeah, and that is kind of a hypocritical moment there. It's like, okay, so you're telling me soccer, which is a sport that I grew up playing, soccer's players more important than the guys you're paying $100 million to, $200 million to. Like, that is an interesting pivotal moment there in this entire discussion. The data that you were referring to that they kind of glossed over, I believe came from Pro Football Talk's Mike Florio, who wrote an article saying that the special teams injuries that everybody's talking about, if you dive deeper into the research on turf, now I don't know where this data comes from, and stats are on everybody's team.
That's right.
Somehow stats are on everybody's team. It makes no sense to me, the way they're phrased, the way they're calculated. I went outside of a restaurant in Indianapolis, and 100% of the people knew who PMI Mitt was.
Okay. Sure.
We asked 3 people, but the way you could phrase it could be completely different. What are the stats that you're referring to? And is that the stat that you're necessarily talking about? And who does that? Do you guys have to hire people to do that? Is just like a known business that does this? And how will you present it over the next couple of weeks?
Yeah, I think as a wise person said, statistics will tell you whatever you want them to tell you. So you can make them look however you want them to look. I know there's data on certain plays. I think there was a graph put out there last year, midway through the season, that shows the injury rate, lower extremity injury rate, comparing grass to turf. And for 5, 7, 10 years prior, there has been a large gap between the injury rate on turf versus the injury rate on grass. Last year, or 2 years ago now, there was, you'd say, an anomaly where those lines came together as close to intersecting as ever. And the league kind of stood up and said, look, they're the same. Doesn't matter anymore. Now, the nuance to that is it was brought together not because turf got safer, but because grass had a larger spike in injuries than any year prior. So the lines came together. This past year, those lines deviated as far apart as they've ever been. which tells you there is a significant difference on injury rate on turf as in grass. And I know, I think Jerry Jones made a comment about, they don't move to grass because the data doesn't back it up. And if the data backed it up, they would have a different discussion. I think that works well when the data backs up his point. Now that the data backs it up, I'm not sure they're going to have a different discussion about putting grass in every building, but they are as far apart as they've ever been.
Yeah, and I just think, how do you address them with that? And this is kind of a question, I guess, for how you guys do business with the NFL. You both need each other. We know that. I remember sitting at the, what's that thing after the draft, AJ, that you got to go to and learn what not to do and get
Symposium?
You get
Rookie
yelled
Symposium.
at. Yeah, you get yelled at by people pretty much the whole time.
Yes, the whole time. Yeah.
You just get yelled at the whole time. Don't you even think about, it's like, yo, I'm just happy I'm in the fucking NFL. Yeah. What's going on? But I believe that was one of the first times DeMaurice Smith spoke as the new NFLPA. What is he? He's the executive. He's the executive president. That was like one of the first times he spoke, and also that was my introduction into the NFL. And the way he was speaking was like, "Hey, we're about to go to war with the NFL." That was before the lockout. We're about to go to war. This is what we're gearing up for. This is what we need to do. And it was almost like I was listening to what he was saying. I'm like, damn, like this is how this business goes, I guess, between the players in the NFL. Is that how every negotiation, every conversation is? Is it always like, hey, we hate you, you hate us, we want this, you want this, and it's always spat? Or is there like and this is obviously very naive of me, obviously, but like if you were to go with grass, like a presentation about how much it would benefit their bottom line and it would help us, feels like a win-win. Is that not a reality of how this would get taken place? Like, what is the normal go-to to get something like this accomplished, which would be grass fields in every stadium, grass fields at every practice facility? What would the process be for that from NFLPA to the NFL?
Yeah, the discussions aren't always contentious, and we obviously have to work together. But in the end, it's not always about making the best argument. It's not even about having statistics. Like we have statistics on our side on this, and the league won't budge on it. So it's not about making good arguments. In the end, it comes down to leverage. And I think something that sometimes gets lost in translation with players is they see the PA as the staff, and it's not. Like the NFLPA is the players. It's each guy in the locker room. And if we want certain things in the CBA, if we want certain things done, certain things changed, that comes from players coming together and showing the solidarity needed and building the leverage to make those changes. The reason teams in Europe and then these owners who won't do it for us will do it for the European Soccer League teams is because those players are adamant that like we're not playing on anything. Like there was I live in the DC area. One of the European soccer teams came over here and had to do like a practice on a high school field. And they got off the bus, took a step on the field and said like, nope, not doing this. This ain't good enough for us. Awesome. And they, figured out a new place to play. I got to make all the changes. The players are the power of the union. And, how do you see change made? You can make debate. You can, have debates, make arguments, have statistics. But until you have players willing to take a stand and take a public stand and fight back in a unified way, it's tough to make those changes. And that's the job of the PA is to organize the players in that way. But I think the players in the locker room sometimes lose sight of that fact that the PA is the players.
Yeah, I can understand that because if you make any drastic stand, the league will just say, look what these spoiled players are thinking about doing. Just because we won't do that, they'll always win the PR war. That's why I always wondered, I guess they're just such business savages that it's impossible just to be like, hey, can we just, can we get something done here? I think it'll be good for everybody. You guys want to go to 18 games? Okay. Hey, let's try to work this. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Like that's how business works, I think. It does not sound like that's how the NFLPA and the NFL operate, which is a shame, but I got faith in the 60-pound lighter JC Tretter to make magic over there. We appreciate you out of Cornell. Connor has a question for you.
Yeah, JC, has your email and phone just been blowing up with kind of the, hey, no fucking way we're doing this Thursday night football shit? And also, what data are they talking about when it comes to, injuries not being correlated with the amount of time between games? And how long do you think it's going to take for them to casually and more regularly flex games into Thursday night football?
Yeah, I think it's an important discussion. We've seen guys speak up about it publicly. And I think that's the weird thing when you look at injury data, is it really boils players down to a number or a data point. and it kind of takes them out as human beings. I think listening to them and listening to their bodies and their stories matter. And guys know how much of a struggle it is to play Sunday to Sunday and get in 65 car accidents and then get ready to play next Sunday. The Thursday games, the amount of work and prep and guys don't feel ready to play on those Thursdays. That stuff doesn't show up on injury data really. Like, I dealt with a bunch of knee swelling. It doesn't really show up in the injury data we have. So it's great to say, oh, the injury data checks out. It's all the same, but you're missing the day-to-day life of, I couldn't sleep multiple days after games because my knees were swollen and they were throbbing.
Yeah.
That stuff doesn't show up, but that's the stuff guys are talking about when they say that these Thursday games are bad for us. And that's why we need more people speaking up and more guys getting aligned on that, because it is a health and safety risk. And again, you can have the data tell you anything you want to. And that's why it's important to hear the actual stories of the players out there going to war. I don't like saying war, but going to battle and putting their
metaphorically
body every week.
Yeah, I've seen guys just kind of stumble into games pretty much. Like Friday, able to walk again. The first 4 days of the week, just in the training room, to their car, home. For whatever reason, it's the joints, it's the anything. Could be absolutely concussion, obviously. It's tough to get through a season. That's why you see a lot of people get hurt, which is why the NFL is scared to pay some people, because everybody's going to get injured, but they want to add games and give shorter recovery time. Seems kind of counterproductive, but, it's not just going to be Thursdays, bud. It's going to go. Those games are going to be on Wednesday. Those games are going to be on Tuesday. Right. You know that, right? We're kind of staring that down now at the future.
Well, I mean, we'll see about that. I think that's a little bit of a different discussion than the extra Thursday games. I think that changes the discussion a little bit when it comes to changing the work rules or something we haven't discussed previously. So I think that's a little bit different of a discussion that we'd have to have between the two sides. So we'll see about that. That'll be a fight and a discussion for another day.
I couldn't even fathom the amount of conversation that's going to happen with that. And moving to 18 games, they're going to want to do that. And then with all the new money that's coming in, they're going to publicly state like, well, if the players are agreed to this is how much higher the salary cap would go. This would be, I mean, it's all just such a game. Like, I don't want to say a game, but it really is. Like, everything is just like chess against each other. You're doing great out there. Hey, you're doing great.
Keep going.
Doing great. Keep going. Only got like 31 billionaires and their lawyers to compete against.
That's right.
You're doing great.
Easy.
You're doing great, JC. Ty has a question for you.
JC, with the idea of global expansion, and it seems like it's kind of a certainty that we are going to, at some point in the maybe near future, have a couple teams in London or Europe as a whole. Is that discussion that you guys have to be mindful of in terms of like the headaches and all the stuff that would come with that, with having to have a East Coast home base and all that kind of stuff, whether guys would actually want to go play in Europe for half the year, the tax differences, all that kind of stuff. Now, granted, it's a couple years away, but it does seem like that is a certainty. Is that something that you guys are kind of mindful of or have to kind of be aware of moving forward?
Yeah, and you say it's a certainty. I don't know how it works. Like, I don't know guys that would be willing to do that. There's plenty of guys that, live in California but play on the East Coast and like miss their families, miss their kids, miss their parents, and get one bye week and get to shoot home to see them. I can't imagine many guys are going to sign up for going across the pond and being that far away from their families half the year, pay higher taxes, deal with all of the logistical challenges. When you talk people, I just don't see that there's going to be many guys that want to do that. I just don't see the realism of that being an accurate idea for 53 guys to make that decision to go live abroad. You'll draft them and they got to go, I guess, but you're not going to get free agents.
53
times
4 plus practice squad. I mean, it's a lot of people they're going to have to do it. More jobs, though.
Yeah.
More jobs. That's what the NFL would say. Go ahead, AJ.
JC, what can the players do? Because when I look at it, I feel like the only power players really have is the threat of sitting out, of not playing, saying, hey, we're not going to do it. Like you said, the soccer team steps on the field and says, no, we're going somewhere else. Unfortunately, I feel like that's the greatest leverage players have, is if they threaten to not play, and nobody wants to see a strike or another lockout.
Yeah, and it all depends, right? Like, leverage is built many different ways. We've seen even recently things change. Like, if we go back to COVID, we were in those negotiations over 3 categories. One was the finances. We were going to lose $4 billion. and we need to figure out a way to figure out how to pay that back without crashing the cap the following year. We need to figure out how to get guys back to playing football after their cities have been locked down, and we had to figure out how to play a contact sport in the middle of a contact virus and a new pandemic. And in that fight, we'd gone round and round with the league, and it's just like I talked about earlier. We can debate and have presentations and data, and experts tell us that we're doing the right thing, but until the league agrees to it, it doesn't matter. And in the end, what happened was, for the first time maybe ever, we had 400 star players, tweet out their displeasure about the treatment and the health and safety and the protections that haven't been agreed to by the league. And within hours, the league agreed to all of our health and safety changes. So, that's not missing game checks. That's not missing games. That's 400 guys sending off a 20-second tweet. And it created significant change, which not only gave us the health and safety changes, but the league was using the health and safety to hold out from agreeing to the financial changes. So once the health and safety changes got agreed to, the league lost the leverage on the finances, which allowed us to get 100% of our players paid their salaries during the COVID years, which other sports unions weren't able to do.
Hey, that's a good
so when we talk about leverage, and it's not always a strike. Like, there are things we can do that build up leverage and create change. And I think the surveys are another example. Creating local change and making teams compete against each other and fixing weight room floors and getting wives off of public restroom floors and pointing that stuff out. We've seen teams, we had about 15 teams reach out to the union and say, like, what should we do better? Like, just tell us the answers.
Everything.
We've never seen that before. And we're seeing, Arizona has made a bunch of changes. And I know they're quick to say that the surveys weren't a part of it. Okay, that's fine. We don't need credit. We've seen a bunch of teams make changes that we highlighted in the surveys. And that's good for players. That's leverage. It all looks differently. It's not always a strike.
But once again, also good for the league, because good for players, good for Goose, good for Gander. And you're talking about leverage other ways other than strike. With that public report card, you went to Cornell, you got a big brain. You win the mob. What do you win, JC?
No idea.
You win Rome. So it's like the PR battle very much means everything, I think, in a lot of these conversations. So I'm happy you're coming on and explaining a lot of these things, because the NFL is normally the big engine that's kind of painting the picture and letting everybody kind of see the information. So we appreciate you doing this. Is there ever a thought, let's go shake their hands? Or is that ever going to be a style, you think, with the NFL? Or are they just so incredibly robotic we cannot have a human interaction business-wise?
No, there are some things that we work well together on. Again, we're a union and their management. There's a difference between labor and management that almost any workforce with a union deals with, and they have their priorities and we have ours, and very little is overlapped. There are some things that are, and we work well together, but they always have their priorities, and that's usually the money. And the people aren't that much of a priority to them. And as a union, our priority is the people. So there's always kind of that. You're kind of talking past each other almost, because our focus is on the people and theirs is on the profit. And you're trying to find common ground in those two things, but they're two totally different priorities.
Man, what a line there. That's a bar.
Yeah.
You're focused on the people, they're focused on the profit. What a line for any union, pretty much.
Yeah.
In the history of anything. That's quite a bar, but it also is adversary. I mean, that is an adversary conversation, which feels like this is always how it's going to be. Last question. I mean, it's the biggest conversation piece whenever you talk about, union and employer in anything, the money that the union and the players are getting. Most specifically, us being the only sport that doesn't have guaranteed contracts as like a very regular thing. Lamar Jackson is currently going through what he's going through very publicly. We do not know if he is expecting a fully guaranteed deal. Jeremy Fowler reported this morning, and we have also asked the question numerous times, do we know that he wants a fully guaranteed deal? Allegedly, he does not want a fully guaranteed deal, just wants a good amount of his contract to be guaranteed. He's obviously earned that, already been an MVP. But the guaranteed contracts thing, you heard Jim Irsay say, I'm an owner, so I don't think guaranteed contracts are good. I think it's bad for the league. I think it's bad for the NFL as a whole, blah, blah, blah. Is there ever going to be any traction on that from your guys' end, or is that just strictly agent, player, business side that isn't really on your radar, if you will?
Yeah, if you look at basketball, basketball has guaranteed contracts, but that's not in the CBA. That has become a precedent and a norm in contract negotiations. That just becomes, that's just what it is now. So it is not something that any sports league has gone to in the CBA and said, we are negotiating for guaranteed contracts. And you see some NBA players don't have guaranteed contracts and get cut and don't have to get paid. It still gets agreed upon.
Okay.
So it's somewhat up to the players to create that precedent. We had an opportunity with Kirk Cousins years ago, and it didn't become precedent. And now Deshaun had his, and Lamar again. We'll stand by Lamar, whatever he wants to do for himself. I think somewhat it says or the union is using Lamar or any Lamar is going to make the decision that's best for Lamar, and we want whatever decision's best for Lamar. Now, I think it's proven that year over year, as people sign, you get a better or same deal as the previous person that set the mark.
Comps. Got to have comps.
Right. And I think that's the debate here is somebody set the mark, fully guaranteed deal. And Lamar, who's an MVP, is saying, I'm in my prime. I'm an MVP. Why am I taking a step back from what somebody who hasn't had the accomplishments that I have got? And it's a fair debate to have. And if that's Lamar's choice of this is what I'm worth, and I'm standing firm on what I'm worth and not taking less, then that's great for Lamar. And I think it'll be great for players long term. But if Lamar decides there's a better decision for him, then I think we're going to support whatever is best for Lamar.
It's such an interesting thing because the guarantee contract's been talked about for a long time in the NFL, especially with the injury rate being basically 100% and how other sports have seemingly got it. He doesn't have an agent either. So, every single angle of NFL deal making, he's going about it differently. We hope he gets it done.
Yeah.
We hope he gets it done.
Lamar.
Hey, we appreciate you so much, JC, for stopping by and explaining the world from your eyes a little bit, even though they're much skinnier eyes and body. We appreciate the hell out of you, man.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me on, guys.
Hey, good luck out there, JC Tretter.
Yeah, JC!
They're not shaking their hands at all.
No. Yeah, they need to do that. They have to want to shake their hand.
You remember not this past CBA, the CBA before that actually had a lockout. Jeff Saturday.
Yeah,
that's right.
Was the one that went to Kraft and Jerry and was like, hey, let's get a deal done here. What do we need to do to get a deal done? Kick the agents out of the way like TJ Watt did.
That's right.
Kick the lawyers out of the way, said, I'm going to go in there and do it. Has it always been like that, AJ? Is it always?
Like what? You mean that they don't get along? What do you mean?
I understand there always is going to be a conflict of interest between employer and employee, especially whenever there's a union and everything like that. I get it. But damn, we can't just have come on.
I mean, there's people, obviously I think it's illegal, but there's obviously corporations that try to shut down unions. They don't want to, hey, you can't unionize. It's the old classic episode in The Office where Michael tries to go down there and all this stuff. They wanted to unionize and he tries to support him, and then he gets killed for it, and they shut it down.
Listen, I'm from Pittsburgh. I very much understand that unions are a very vital part to a lot of people's livelihoods and have been for a very long time. And I understand it's normally contentious, but there's so much money out there in the NFL right now.
Fun.
Let's just fucking figure it out. What if the NFLPA went to the NFL and said, hey, we got this company that's willing to sponsor all the grass fields. All we're asking for you is to allow them to do it, okay it, bang, we got a deal done, we got grass fields. You guys don't have to pay nearly as much for it. That's all you guys really give a fuck about, right? Now you just have to maintain it. We're able to get it. Boom. Now we have that done. Okay, got it. Bang, bang, pow. Then we're able to do it. Now, logistically, can you figure that out? But isn't that part of doing business together? Is that what normally happens? Or is it just you're fucking paying for it, fuck you, and no, we're not. We're taking more money. Does it have to be like that? Is that what it has to be like?
It doesn't have to be. I wonder how the owners and everyone and their lawyers view the PA and the players, because from the outside it feels like, and from being in the union, it feels like back when I'm playing that, the owners just look at the players as big dumb doofuses. That's just what they expect, and and I'm like, hey, I get it, I understand, and they're going to fight against it, and they want to get every dollar they possibly can, but there has to be a moment where they're like, hey, this is, like you said, what is good. If it's good for the players, it's good for the league usually.
Yes. It will. Granted, properly executed, it's good for everybody. Your star players are playing more, they're practicing more, they're doing it. It just feels like that's good for everybody. Yeah. And if it's good for everybody, guess what? More money.
Yeah.
Which is what
the owners got to be scared though. Owners have to be a little, not scared, but a little bit worried now with back 15 years ago, you couldn't sit there and get some online thing going. Like he said, at 400 tweets, you get players. Whether you think that has as much impact as it does, I don't know. But I think it'll only grow in the future as players get more and more independent, notoriety, where they don't have to go through the local people to get their message.
But once again, it doesn't have to always be like that either. But I might be completely naive. I've never been in there. I actually didn't sign up for the union the last 2 years I played because I was sick of it. I'm not doing this shit.
Well,
you guys are signing me up for terrible deals. I don't want to fucking do this, bro. I don't even have, my guys don't even have insurance forever. What the fuck? Like, what are we even talking about here? Like, what do we, and I had the chance to sit at a round, is that a round circle?
Yeah, round table discussion.
Round table discussion.
Round circle.
Well, it could be like an
It was
oblong
an incredibly
circle.
round
An octagon.
circle. Yeah, one of those round table discussions. Roger Goodell was there. And I didn't speak the whole time. There was a couple people that did speak that had obviously been in a couple of these conversations with Goodell before, and they were certainly still pissed about whatever they were pissed about the last time they were in a conversation. They had not been taking care of whatever it is. And a lot of it revolved around like the insurance. Like, hey, can we not, if guys are, there's Hall of Famers there, like guys that have given their entire life to this sport and to the league, and you still have them for like they're still representatives of the league and their cities and everything they do. They don't even have like insurance from the league. It's like most of the stuff that they're going to have to deal with comes from injuries clearly from the game of football. I mean, that's what they've given their entire life to. Like that just seems like an easy, you know what I mean? That seems like an easy. So at the end of it, I didn't speak the whole time. And then at the end, I was like, we got 5 insurance companies that sponsor with the NFL who pay so much money. Is there not an easy deal to be made where it's like, hey, this insurance company has the NFL legends, and if they have the NFL legends, you can force these dudes, some of them do commercials if you want to force them. Content, you can have it. You can have modern guy in there. Like, that's an incredible marketing for whatever insurance company finally handles this particular problem. I'll tell you what, I ain't never heard more crickets in my life.
Really?
My life.
It's not even talked about though. Is it even anything? Is it even on the table? Is it something they're even trying to work about right now?
At that particular round table I was at, it was certainly on the table. I mean, there was no actual table there, but in the circle, the words that were going into the middle portion of which would be the table, there was a lot. That was the entree.
Yeah, they're living there.
The entree was that, and it was 45 minutes. I didn't speak till the last 2 minutes or whatever, which worst time to talk. You know what I mean? Also, I've known that, I've done that. But yeah, I've heard crickets. I'm like, are we thinking of ideas that maybe we could get a problem taken care of? Or is it just like, you do it, you do it, you do it? It's like, let's try to we need each other. Hey, need each other here.
It's hard though too. Don't you think the insurance thing for lifetime insurance, it's hard for current players to get fully on board with that? Because when you're 23 years old, you're not really thinking about lifetime insurance.
Yeah.
Couldn't hurt
So
though.
why are
No, it's
no,
tough
it definitely
sell.
couldn't hurt, but
For sure.
It's not a hill that current players are usually willing to die on. Maybe as they get older in their career, it would be.
And the NFLPA knows that their current crew probably not really
gung-ho about it.
Yeah. So that's why I asked Goodell,
Mm-hmm.
I said, hey, why don't you guys pick this one up, as opposed to the NFLPA being in charge. I think I even used the word babyface. You guys can babyface heavy,
Yeah.
which is a hilarious thing to say. You know what I mean? That would be if you pick up the whole insurance thing, that'd be quite a move. Public leverage for you guys would be very high, once again, to make you guys more money.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? This is all, because you got to talk what they want. They want money. That's it's a business to them. It is clearly that. But in making money, can we not also kind of navigate the situation? Sounds like I'm naive, though, and I don't understand what the fuck's going on.
Well, and to your point about the money, that's why it feels like those 4 teams overseas, whether the players want to fucking do it or not, it's inevitable. If the owners want to do that division, logistically, how does it work? They'll figure it out.
Yeah, you got guys that are playing for $24 a game right now.
Yeah, exactly.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? That's
Who's that?
I think it's not the X. It was that AA.
Yeah, the AAFL.
The American
Is the
Alliance
USFL
League.
just started, right? The USFL?
They have punting in that game. USFL.
No clue. I thought them and the XFL joined. Hang on.
Oh, wasn't I offered a punting rule?
Yeah, I believe that was the USFL.
I think the
the
USFL
Renegades?
just opened camp or something a couple weeks ago.
April 15th, USFL will be kicking off and punting. So,
Let's go.
2 weeks.
Yeah.
Here we go.
Around the corner.
That's huge.
Get that leg warmed up. You already warmed up yesterday a little bit.
In terms of the
Could you imagine? Yeah, you're right. I'll go punt in the USFL. What are we?
yeah, that was an ill-advised
What are we-
suggestion.
Retired.
In
That
ter-
was awesome. I took it as kind of disrespectful, but now looking back on it, what a fucking fantastic thing just to let it fly.
Like you
Shot
said,
in
you
the
could
dark.
be, playing maybe, I don't know about punting. I'll come out and play quarterback.
Quarterback, yeah.
I'll fucking sling that thing.
That was my immediate response. That was my immediate response. Quarterback, are we talking?
Who told you this?
No, it doesn't need to be.
Doesn't matter.
Some Mark.
That does not need to be talked about.
Going back to the PA stuff, we've talked about this before, and it'll probably never happen. But is it going to take like the face of the league or like a quarterback? Like if a guy like Brady or someone like that was the NFLPA president, do you think that would matter at all? Because like the NBA, like all of their biggest
Chris
stars,
Paul,
all
Braun.
their biggest stars are the ones who are, in charge of the NBPA.
It's fascinating because that would never happen because all the big stars, guess what they do?
Yeah.
They hate the NFLPA.
Right.
Yeah, Brady posted on his IG story.
So dumb.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
NFL players are ignorant after the media deal was announced.
Every player that has been around a long time hates the NFLPA.
Yeah.
That's just, I think, not every. I guess JC Tretter doesn't. You're either a rep or you don't like.
Or you hate it.
It's my experience. You agree?
Yeah, I would agree. Or you just don't even. A lot of guys don't even think about it. Don't care.
Yeah. All right, child. Good luck out there.
Whatever.
A lot of that.
Trying to stay on this team, pal. I don't need to worry about that.
Okay, I got a Madden check. Sweet.
That's what
Thank
Vinny
you.
said to you, right?
What's that?
About saying something in a meeting, and this was Vinny's 15th year or something?
Nah, Vinny, I sat next to Vinny. Vinny became a rep at one point.
Oh, okay.
And I thought it was like a big deal because he finally, like that's a person we should have in there.
Yes.
Been around the game a long time. We need, to your point, like the stars up in there. I would ask a question or two every one of those meetings, and I would get disappointed with my fucking answer. I'm like, I'm not doing it anymore. Keep your Madden check. I don't fucking want it. I don't even, you know what I mean? I was not happy in those things, AJ, just because the way I operate. I'm like, why are we doing that?
Mm-hmm.
That
This
is
not
like,
right.
I'm no business genius. Maybe one day people will say that, but right now that is not like exactly what I am known for. And I always intrigued by the art of business, product, move it. How do you move it? Need one, need the other. Let's do it. Let's profit. Let's do this whole thing. That's everything. Everything is that. That is the basis, right? Here we go. So whenever they would lay something out as if they were the smartest fucking humans of all time, I just couldn't take it anymore. Like, have you ever done a business ever? And you're like, what are you? Who agreed to that? We did. More money for the. I'm like, I guess.
Oh, okay.
I guess it's more money, AJ. I don't know if that's. Yeah, hey, got a terrible deal, but it is a deal.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, got another terrible deal. Oh, it is a deal. Oh, look out! Another terrible deal incoming. Okay, you guys are doing great. This is great. Oh, you upped how much money I got to pay you. Oh, okay. All right, so I gotta pay you to make bad deals for me. Got it.
You got to know what the owners want and what they're going to use. Like, there's certain things that people would make a big deal. Remember the old CBA when Jeff was hugging him and everything? They got worked out. The offseason workouts used to start like mid-March. Those got pushed back to like second week in April. So we gained like 3 weeks of the offseason, which was awesome. Great. But people acted like the owners don't care. The owners are like, okay, cool. We don't have to feed them for an extra month. We don't have to worry about them getting hurt in our facility for an extra month. And that's like a big deal for you. Cool. Here you go, guys. Like, of course they're going to give that up.
Oh, so when we're paying you $300 a week and we have to keep the lights on and act like we care, you guys don't want it? No. You have to have spring practice. We need it. No, we don't want to have it. We really don't want to give that up.
We got to talk about this.
Golly. All right, fuck it. I guess we'll delay it 2 months. Jeez. What else do you guys want? All right. Now, 17 games, right?
Come on.
17 games.
We gave you those couple weeks.
17 games, less than half of market share for marketing.
Right,
Even though
what
there's
do you
only
say?
30 of us and 1,500 of you, a little bit of that.
Works out.
What do you think?
Right? We're giving off time.
Yeah.
Come on.
3 week vacation.
Meet us halfway here.
We don't want to fucking give up those spring. That's what it seems like happens though in there. And it gets frustrating if you start thinking about it. But I've never been in the room. So once again, I can't complain, I guess, even though I have numerous times.
Whatever like JC does, or I remember Eric Winston was the rep for a while, the head of the union. At least it's got to be great experience for whatever you do after that. If you get out of the union, you go take a job somewhere else.
Are they paying head of the union? Like how much money do you think DeMaurice
They have
gets?
to, right? Oh, DeMaurice gets a ton of money, yeah. But does JC get? JC gets paid, right?
Well,
Would have to. All that extra bullshit in his life, you would think you would have to be some sort of money.
Yeah, I remember a couple of years ago, the players got a certain amount, and then it was Drew Brees who stole like a couple $1 million.
No, he sold.
Sold?
No.
Yeah, he sold that amount of shit. Yeah. You can't say, especially when we're in the middle of what we're in.
Yeah.
On this
True.
day.
Stealing, that was wrong. That was a false statement what I just said. But Drew Brees ended up with multiple millions of dollars.
Yes, because he sold.
Bunch of jerseys and apparel.
Oh, okay. I don't remember it like that.
Well, that's because the way you read it was there's no way this guy sold this amount of stuff. But I still get checks from my shit being sold.
Oh, sweet.
Yeah. Like $24 or so.
That's right.
DoorDash. That's a DoorDash dinner.
It is, unless you get Express.
Yeah, then not a chance.
But the Express comes same exact time as the Standard.
Right. So maybe you don't even need to express it.
Yeah, but then there's a chance that the Standard, you're going to get 4 different deliveries before it even gets there.
And it's ice cold.
So it's a fascinating dilemma every time you're on DoorDash.
It is.
Do I want to up the price of this thing by 45% and get the same exact results? Or do I want to roll the dice of 4 different deliveries happening before I get there? DoorDash has changed the game. I'll take the food however, I don't have to move. But that seems like quite a racket.
It is.
That seems like quite a racket, AJ.
Yeah, who started DoorDash? Because before COVID, I don't think I ever used it.
Gary V.
Oh, what?
I just assume so. I don't know. Or
He has
he was
something
in on the ground floor.
Saw his video. He has some big thing going on coming up.
Vcon, Indianapolis, Indiana.
A month away.
No, it's a different thing, though. There's an opportunity for entrepreneurs. I know. I watched his video.
Yeah,
this morning.
VCon.
At VCon.
Come to VCon. Learn everything.
Become a
Okay,
billionaire.
Ty. There you go, Ty.
There are no less than
Do you get your suite?
600 speakers coming to VCon. I'm wondering
I saw
if
that.
it's 3 a.m. to 3. I think it's 24 hours every single day.
I think Diplo's coming too, isn't it?
I think so.
Yeah.
Diplo, Drew Barrymore, Mr. Balloon or something was announced today.
Yeah.
There's some big time names.
Okay, let's go through it. Adam Brotman's coming. He's
Of course.
CEO, co-founder of
Forum 3.
Forum 3. Andrew
Oh, yeah,
Schultz is fucking coming.
Yeah, Schultz
is at VCon? Okay. He's going to be in it.
I believe he is
Like, how do they have
performing.
room for all these people?
Well, that's what Ty's asking. I don't know how
Fucking
many.
Ariana Huffington's there.
Caesar Milan.
Busta Rhymes?
Really?
Bobby Hundreds, obviously.
And
Dude, Caesar Milan comes out with 6 dogs. Could you imagine if he... That's the type of control you need on your life.
he's so sweet.
What if it's a full motivational speech that Caesar gives?
Taffer's on here?
Bro,
somewhere.
wait till fucking Cody hits the stage.
Taffer?
Oh. If Taffer was going, I'd be there.
He is.
Are you serious?
Yeah, I remember looking at this list.
Well, we will see. Damon John, Shark Tank. Love that guy. Look
Drew Austin's a dog.
at the mustache on fucking Eric Zetterstein.
Yes, please.
Zetterstein.
Beast.
Gary
Fonz.
Vaynerchuk. He's going to be there.
Obviously.
The Fawn.
I like that he just put himself in there.
Yeah,
You know, just like in the
Yeah.
in the thing.
just one of them.
We assume Gary's speaking. We hope he's speaking. That's why we bought the ticket.
A lot of bored apes.
Jesse Itzler, you know that guy? Jesse Itzler does a lot of marathon and running, motivating. John
Married to
Taffer.
Spanx.
Holy shit.
Oh, my God.
What'd you say about Jesse Itzler there, AJ?
Didn't he marry? He married the Spanx billionaire girl.
Really?
She invented Spanx.
I know he's a motivator. I know that. I've seen him in a couple other motivators' videos. They're being motivated by him.
NPH.
No.
Neil Patrick Harris, is he singing?
OSF. Let's go.
This
Andrew
is
Tate
all
on
at
here?
VCon, dude. These people are all flying into Indiana, except for Scott Dorsey. That was the guy that the SNL thing. Scott Dorsey, there it is. Boom. That was the guy. Whenever I talked about being at that auction,
yeah.
and it was an
Scooter
SN.
Braun.
Rich Kleiman looks like that guy I just got arrested.
Scooter Braun's there?
Yeah.
Where are they all giving keynote speeches? Like, how does this work?
So I think there are multiple stages.
Timbaland?
What?
Where? Sloth?
Oh.
Holy shit. Dude.
AJ Vaynerchuk?
Hell yeah, and Young Gravy, right?
Hell yeah.
Young Gravy.
Hey, congratulations, Gary.
Wow.
Can't wait. It's going to be an incredible event right here in Indianapolis, Indiana. I think I seen him on a local news. This
You
morning.
get your suite, right? You have to pay extra for your suite for VCon?
The timing is like right when baby, you know? So I wasn't able to.
This is
invest.
also super hard to buy a ticket too. I'm trying to buy one right now. You can't just buy a ticket.
No, you got to
have
get an NFT, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, you have to be new. I'm new to Web3, I guess. I'm learning what Web3 is right now.
Mate, need you there.
Fucking get some V
What is
coins
that?
and buy
Is that
your
like
ticket.
Silk Road?
It seems like
they're
Silk
selling
Road,
drugs.
but it's you got to create a digital wallet and then buy Ethereum and then buy your NFT.
We don't know if that's true, or if this is just how Mitt is experiencing this. And let's remember that Mitt experiences things different than everybody else.
Bingo.
With that being said, with that lineup, how could you miss it?
How could you?
I got to figure out how to get in.
Taffer?
Gonna need you to do all this stuff, Mitt.
No,
Meta
I'm
Are
doing-
you speaking? Mitt might be speaking at this.
Should be.
I mean, I do have a Bored Ape, so like I.
Boom.
Okay.
He
here we go.
screenshotted it.
Don't give up your Bored Ape. That thing's on the come up. Remember, it had and then it was. Now there's a chance it's
Coming back.
especially after this.
Bitcoin was coming back.
There you
see
go. You
that?
can buy with
Boom.
a credit card.
You can buy a VCon ticket with a credit card. There we go. Get you in the door.
Go get it, man.
Thank you for choosing Indianapolis.
Yeah.
The city will be a great host to all those humans that are coming, which seem to be every human of all time.
Yeah.
A lot
of
them.
note. Every single one.
V friends will be there.
All of them.
In abundance.
You think Adam the Apple's going to be there?
I'd be very disappointed if he wasn't.
The intuitive iguana is going to be there.
Yeah.
And Gary B.
Yep, Gary B.
The genuine gorilla.
Yes.
What was the Aaron one?
The new one.
The ayahuasca Aaron?
Ayahuasca Aaron. He drew that one.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah.
Hell yeah, Gary.
Love you, Gary.
What a fucking concept there.
I wonder how Fives are doing. They win this weekend?
The Fives are his pickleball team. I did see they had at least one celebratory moment.
Nice.
I don't know how often they are celebrating, but I do know in pickleball, there's like a 13-year-old, a 14-year-old that's about to be the god of this whole thing.
Absolute dog.
Now, I don't know if he could play in Thunderball. That's Tyson McGuffin. He's our guy. Okay, he's a dog. That young child right there, that is very easy to see on this video right now, talking shit and bawling in an adult tourney.
Gotcha. Right at you, McGuffin.
Boom. And in his face. I don't know.
He does play for the Fives.
He's on the Fives?
Yeah, Gary V.
Gary V scouted this guy, this kid, and he is a dog. I mean, he is an absolute dog. He's the face of pickleball. And I think with what's going on Sunday with pickleball, with
McEnroe
and the other tennis players playing for $1 million, there's a chance pickleball takes it to another level.
Yeah.
And that 13-year-old Five is going to be the face of it all.
He's the guy.
He's like Methy.
AJ, how do you feel about old Five, 13-year-old kid, 14, 15, 16, however old he is, looks young, kind of taking over the sport, pal?
It's pretty awesome. I mean, he seems to have a dynamic personality. He's not scared to taunt his opponents a little bit.
Yeah, and the guy he was playing, Tyson McGuffin.
Taunted him first, too.
Yeah, that guy ain't scared to
Do
taunt.
we know who won, though? Do we know who won, or was it just those points?
The Fives won, bro.
Come on.
Let's go,
Their
Fives.
team's really the Five. Are they really the Five?
Let's go, Fives. Let's go, Fives. Let's go, Fives. Yeah, that's the team name. That's the chant. I did see it on Gary V's Instagram.
Yep.
Just like we saw the Vcon conference coming to Indiana here in a couple weeks with every speaker that has ever spoken to a microphone on the docket. Congrats to Gary. Thunderball's a little different than pickleball, though. I want to let that teenager know.
Yeah, much different.
Okay, this ain't the stuff you're playing in that game.
Yeah, that's narrow. That's a narrow court, huh?
Thunderball?
Yeah.
It's wider than half the full pickleball court. So that's why return and serve is much more difficult because it's wider space.
It's a faster game.
Believe the
Fast
kitchen.
track.
Did you not want to just take the tape a little bit wider, or what?
We already had the paint on pretty much, with the...
Yeah.
We had, and it's easier to do the lines. I wonder just the depth of it. Like from that video, that looked like the kitchen was smaller.
Their kitchen smaller?
Yeah, their kitchen.
You could look up the dims,
Oh
I
my
would
God.
imagine.
If we do need the dims. We could also look up the rules, which none of us have really done.
Nope. No way.
Except for AQ, and he was lying.
So can you step in the kitchen? How's that work?
And not until the ball bounces.
But if I'm playing a ball in the kitchen, I can step in there and I'm cool.
If the ball is bounced.
Get up.
Yeah, in the kitchen.
Okay.
If the ball is not bounced in the kitchen, you cannot step in there in Thunderball and in Pickleball.
That's right.
So if they got a smaller kitchen,
Yeah.
I mean, what are we doing?
That's going to be tough.
I'm not sure, though, but that's
tough.
Just from that
I think it's going to
TikTok.
be fucking great. I get closer to the net. That's all I heard. I get to get closer to the net.
Yeah, harder to bounce it in there.
Nah, I'm bouncing that thing within fucking 2 feet of that thing every time I'm dinking anyways.
Yeah.
That's the game I'm playing. What are you playing?
No, I'm
Hitting in the back of the kitchen with it?
I'm more so saying when you are doing, like, when those kitchen rallies start, like a lot of the times you are kind of close to the end of it.
That looks like similar sized kitchen.
Oh, yeah, that one looks bigger almost now.
Which might be a little bit harder, to be clear.
Yeah, it definitely looks bigger.
Yeah, that looks like really.
But it looks pretty similar, just doing the left to right.
Yeah, I don't know.
comparison.
The picture proportions are tough. The
Yeah.
dims, I don't know what the proper ratio is here. But if we were to eyeball.
I mean, they're very close.
You want to get height of that guy?
I got it right.
This picture's throwing me off because it's the guy on the left, he's huge. The guy on the right is not. Looks a lot bigger on the right. Looks tiny on the left.
7'3".
The ref is 7'3", you said?
Maybe.
Okay, allegedly.
I'll check the Dems again.
So we got to go by the stances of the camera people. That guy seems to have pretty square base on the right side of the ref in the orange, holding camera. Looks like it's about, what, 1, 2, 3 of his stances?
Should we get Bill on our court with the camera?
Yeah, I think so. Bill, can you
Come on,
please
Bill.
stand like this, please? We need it.
It is hard to tell.
I mean, you can look up the dims, I would imagine.
AJ, don't be so simple.
Just shut up.
Hey, I think ours is pretty similar.
I think
man.
we are.
Yeah, I
pretty
think it's
close.
pretty similar. Yeah.
AJ, I don't know if that's smart-ass voice or real voice.
Sounded smart ass.
No, I'm actually serious here, but where's Bill? I want to see Bill. I need to see some reference.
Bill's coming out right now. He's going to have a similar camera, too.
Bill.
Bill doesn't have his
We need
camera.
him to stand in all four corners of,
Bill, I think you need to be on this side. Okay, go down the middle shot.
They're like, you're the
Oh, no,
only
but go a little bit. Do like a good base. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
a
Widen your
No,
stance.
no. Too much.
Shoulder width. Shoulder
There it
width,
is.
I think a little bit tighter. All right, now can you go from the net to one side?
Yeah, pivot. Oh.
Can you?
Oh.
Yeah, you should pivot.
Yeah, you're gonna have to turn like a full measurement, but you also got
Can
to
you
go
run
back.
a couple laps around it?
You got to go back towards the net a little bit because you're off.
Sure, you just lie
go
down.
back the other way. Make sure your right foot. Boom. Now you need to just like do a pivot. There.
Pivot on your left foot like a ballerina, so you're facing up.
Yeah, like you're pivoting like a basketball all the way. Yeah, exactly. Boom. Keep that left foot down.
Yeah, pick your right foot up.
Oh, okay. Yeah, it is. It is.
turn
You guys
this
a little
way.
bit smaller.
Turn it.
Face us.
Turn it now. Yeah, do a full
Pirouette.
turn.
There
Yeah,
you go.
yeah.
There
Now
it
do
is.
it all the
Keep
way.
going.
All the way.
Keep going.
No, not too far.
So you're doing it like in a line.
Boom.
There you go. Boom.
Okay, now do
right foot.
do it
Keep your
again.
right foot.
I'll
in.
do one more, Bill.
There it is. Face
Yeah.
front.
Keep
face,
going.
face
Good
front.
pivot foot.
Boom.
All right, so about 3, right? Bill pivots.
Yep,
Yeah.
about 3 Bill pivots.
So, thank you, Bill.
Okay.
You're the man, Bill.
So I think it's
I
about
think
the
that
same.
guy's about three pivots.
What do we find out?
Well, if you look at this guy, AJ, you know, this guy about, you know what I mean? That's about a Bill pivot there, right? So if we take that and then we just put it from here, seems like there's about,
Spot on. There we go.
Yeah, it's
Dims are
about 3
correct.
Bill pivots, I think.
3 Bill pivots
That's it.
is each kitchen. We got it wildly close, Bonner,
yeah.
you and me.
Oh, how about that?
Bro, we're some fucking dogs with the dims.
I mean, we knew that the pickleball dimensions were going to be just about what we had it at.
So maybe we are playing a little bit more of a pickleball version of the game than we could have ever imagined.
Yeah.
We just thought we abused the game, but made maybe a little bit better one. You know, whenever you're in a driveway and you just create a game, basketball would be a great instance.
Yeah.
Felt like we kind of had the hint of pickleball, but then we said, you know what? With the paint we already have on the floor and our style of play, this seems to suit us the best. Let's not worry about actual pickleball. Turns out we're fucking right on.
Yeah, it's perfect.
How about that, AJ? How do you feel about it?
Pretty amazing. And now we did that scientific research to figure it out. Here we go. Exactly.
And now we all know that the kitchen in pickleball is 3 Bill pivots.
That's right.
All right, let's get to a break. I think that's the perfect time.
Yeah, let's go.
Cleared that up.
Thank you, Bill.
Thank you, Bill.
Good job, Bill.
All these things are things we could have Googled while we were setting it up. We chose not to.
Could have.
But the stuff we did Google, we hated.
We're numerous weeks into this thing, though.
Yeah.
And it really still has captivated the audience, which is good news.
The game is the game now.
Still playing every morning, Thunderball. AJ, need to get you in here sometime whenever you're in between vacations.
I want to play.
Come on.
I want to play.
Love
I need
to
to
have
play
you out
that.
here.
I want to see how the ball reacts off that gym floor. That's what I think would be weird.
Slides a little bit. It's a little bit lower. You got to get a little bit more dip and rip and lean. You know what I mean?
I do a little backspin, a little backspin serve. Would it die on you on that court or no?
Backspin does give a little bit of a skip. But it remains back spinny, I think, more because it's the wood. So when it hits paddle, I think there's more spin still on ball as opposed to when it hit like
concrete.
Whatever court that was we were playing on before.
I think it's a lot like ping pong.
I think so too.
I really do.
I think it's adult size. You're on top of the ping pong table.
Yep.
That's right.
Yeah.
It's a great sport. All right, we'll be back on the other side with Reese Davis talking about another great sport, college basketball.
Come on.
The women's Final Four starts tonight. The men's Final Four starts tomorrow. We're going to be crowning champions in college basketball. Reese Davis, who's been right all along, will join us on the other side of this 5-minute break. Be a friend, tell a friend something nice. Take 5. Obviously, this is a conversation starter for everybody when they're talking about the dynasty, and there's still Raiders fans that are pissed off about this. Here's the game plan. Go out there in the middle of a snowstorm and make a kick that you're not supposed to make at all from 45 yards.
This is the Patriots season on the line.
Do you remember this moment right here in your head? Were you scared to death? Were you fucking pumped?
I would say I was probably more scared to death as I'm watching the Tuck Rule review and realizing, holy shit, we get the ball back. Oh, yeah, by the way, it's coming all down to you, man.
This will be a 45-yard attempt. That's Vinatieri's luck from this distance of late.
Once I got out on the field, I really had three thoughts. First and foremost, try to attack the ball, but stay light on your feet. Just like anybody, you're running on ice. If your cleats don't stick, you're falling on the ground, and then the ball's going to end up hitting your center right in the back of the head. I wasn't thinking about missing 4 of the last 5, if that's truly what was going on. For me, it was all about, hey, you know, these guys aren't going to be able to get a good rush, get it straight and get it above the line of scrimmage. And thank goodness, as it left and I saw that they didn't block it, then it was all about, I don't know if it's going to have enough distance in this snow, you know, let's hope for the best. And I really didn't know until the referees at the back of the end zone raised their hands. I couldn't really see it. Couldn't tell if it was good or not.
Hell yeah, because it's a snow globe. What a kick. What a moment. Obviously, that would go on to launch a dynasty that the NFL will never see again or before. What a kick. What a moment. Here's an overtime. You got to make another one.
Substantially easier kick. Not just because of the distance, but we called a timeout. We cleaned a bunch of ground. This is the one time that a coach actually icing me probably benefited us, right? Because it gave my offensive lineman with the big size 16 cleats to get out there and move a little bit more ground. And, you know, not to say a game winner's ever easy, but this one compared to the one quarter before that was substantially different.
So you're coming out here sighing a little bit of relief. Oh, thank God. I can see the ground. I'm not going to fall.
Right.
We've already done this. This is no problem.
Tied.
And then you murder that ball dead center. And then obviously in the Super Bowl, you have like a 49-yarder that you hit at the top of the upright. Couldn't have been a better ball, I don't think. You hit it cleaner. You have something inside of you, okay, that not a lot of people have. And Joe Burrow seemingly is a guy that has it. What is that?
I would love to tell you that I was born with or I developed the ability to, you know, be a clutch under pressure. I do think that there's certain people that are born with the want or the ability to say, Michael Jordan, you know, Tiger Woods, Mariano Rivera. These guys are, and ladies, are the type of people that go, I want the game coming down to me. I want to be the reason, LeBron, you know, I want to be the reason why we win or lose. I was kind of that same person, you know, playing soccer as center midfield, and in baseball, I either wanted to pitch or catch. I'd leave it there. I know what you're thinking. Knock it off. I know you. Anyway, but I always wanted to, you know, be in the middle of the game and be the reason why. So once I get to football, obviously 59 minutes of the game, I'm standing on the sideline, but I guess this is the one opportunity that I can put exclamation on the game or the icing on the cake or whatever you want to do.
Punt return to win the game.
Hell yeah.
I don't know if they were trying to kick that ball out of bounds or they were saying, hey, just got to cover a kick. Let's cover a kick. We are a team that practices. We have a good punter. Sure. We got to do our thing. They're on the 32-yard line. He hits a bomb, end over end, right down the middle of the field. Not high enough, certainly far enough. A lot of field to have to defend. One cut, hit the wall, boom. Punter misses, and all of a sudden the New England Patriots, in a game that was 3-3 all the way until there was 8 seconds left in the fucking game, win with a punt return. And obviously that's Belichick. Belichick talking about it afterwards, knowing that this is how this game is going to be. The Jets are always a tough team. We're prepared. We're ready. They get a win. They're still in the playoffs. The Jets are almost dead now, with Zach Wilson saying after the game that he does not feel like he's let down the defense. No. Have you feel like you let down anybody? No. It moves on.
As an offense, though, I mean, when you guys are only able to score 3 points, the defense only lets up 3 points. I mean, do you feel like you let the defense down at all? No.
Well, he had 2 yards of offense in the second half. Garrett Wilson, wide receiver for the Jets, rookie, said, hey, that's horseshit.
This shit's not okay. I mean, straight up, it's not okay. We had, how many total yards we had?
100, a little over 100.
Yeah, that shit's not gonna fly. So
Bob Saleh asked about it. He says that's dog shit.
It's dog shit.
Zach Wilson says, no, we'll move on. We'll gritty right through this whole thing. I feel like there's a chance that Zach's about to get packed and move on for the other team, not only because the defense probably heard that and is not happy about it, not only because Bob Saleh has openly said that the offense that he's running is dog shit, but because there's a veteran sitting in that building.
Goddamn right.
That is ready to take over those young bucks and maybe get them on a run. But nonetheless, the Patriots get a win.
A couple weeks ago, we're talking about how the Jets were awesome. You know, they're going to go on and be a good team. They're not. They're terrible. They're 6-4, but they're terrible. Possibly the worst 6-4 team in the history of the NFL.
Jeez,
now, on the Patriots side of things, yeah, sure, we only scored 10 points, and 7 of them came with 10 seconds left in the game, but that was the game plan the entire time. Bill, no.
Get it to the fourth.
Get it to the fourth, be in the game, and then let's just make sure they punt the ball with less than a minute left, and then we'll go down and score and, walk this thing off. And that's exactly what we did.
I've sent some text messages to the Jets building to try to get a heads up on what they were trying to do. Were they trying to have him kick this out of bounds? It doesn't appear as if that was the case. I think it was hey, we need to go cover a kick. Let's go cover a kick. Let's get to overtime here as much as we can because you can't get into field goal range, even though Folk had missed a couple already on the day. We have to be able to flip the field with how much time was left and the Patriots having one timeout and Matt Patricia doing his thing. It's easy to say just kick it out of bounds, but if he kicks it out of bounds at the 35 or the 40 and then they have one timeout and they get in a field goal range and they lose 6-3, there's still going to be a conversation. So until I know what exactly they were thinking and why they were thinking it, that late block. And I appreciate them not calling that.
Mm-hmm. Yes, good no call. I agree because he wasn't going to make the tackle before he scored, so I agree it was a good no call. I see that they tried to claim it was not a block in the back. I believe it was.
Yeah, certainly a block in the back, but the NFL has come out and said, oh, it was from the side or whatever, and I think the NFL has come in to say on the side, like, come on, that guy wasn't going to make the play. None of that really matters. But by the rule book, if we're going to start doing that, let's start making some more common sense calls in games in important fashion. Also, must remember, they're in field goal range there, blocking the back. They're still in field goal range.
Yes.
Nick probably still lose the game.
Oh! Yeah. Ooh. Oh! Tried. That's a good one to win on.
Hey.
What?
Let's go. This show fucking stinks. And the fact that you listen, we are very, very thankful for it. AJ, never cease to amaze me with your toxicity, pal.
You got a couple of these?
God damn it! What the fuck are you doing?
Fuck Boston.
Hello, beautiful people. Welcome back to our humble abode, the Thunderdome. On this Feel Good Friday, March 31st, 2023, Hour 3 of the sports program starts now.
Feel Good!
Friday is what we're experiencing. AJ, I saw you didn't participate. This is a college football national champion, a Super Bowl champion, a Ryder Cup champion, and a father of 10, although he's not Amish. Ladies and gentlemen, AJ Hall. Talks the tables here at Boston Connor, at Ty Schmidt, and a man who's a producer on Winning Gambling Show.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Consistent.
And the guy who answers all the 5 Energy phone line calls, PMI Mitz here. We miss you, Tone Diggs. We hope you're having an incredible weekend, birthday weekend. You deserve it, pal, you and the family. Joining us now is a guy who I really appreciate.
Oh, yeah.
I've gotten a chance to enjoy the hell out of his work, watch him work. He's a master at his craft, and right now it is a huge time because he is the host of College Game Day, both football and basketball. And guess what? Final Four weekend is here.
Oh, here we go.
Oh, this is the semifinals. Holy shit. This is a massive ordeal. He's made time for us. I've seen him on TV this morning, suited and booted and crushing it. Ladies and gentlemen, the incomparable Reese Davis.
Yeah, Reid!
Wow.
Whoa.
Appreciate that, Pat. How are you guys doing?
Not as good as you. You look fantastic. Where's the Final Four at? Where are you at right now?
It's in Houston. I'm right outside Energy Stadium, and just around the corner, maybe see it way in the background there, the old Astrodome is still standing.
Oh, congrats to the Astrodome, still doing its thing. Energy Stadium, I have great memories in there. What a place. It can get loud. Is it 400 degrees, classic Houston?
It's overcast right now. It feels like it's in the 80s, a little bit of sweat. But our 4-hour extravaganza tomorrow, that's gonna get a little toasty, and probably swamp butt might be part of the deal by the end of the day.
Well, very much understandable. Down there in Houston, it has a lot of upside. The city's fantastic. The people are great. The views are spectacular. The heat, though, is never ending. It is a thick heat down there. We appreciate you calling in from this very busy weekend. As we look at this Final Four, obviously, no 1 seed, 2 seed, or 3 seed. I think it's like the first time in however long that has happened in the Final Four. It kind of unfolded a little bit how you thought it was going to with some teams. Obviously, the big names didn't make it. What should we be thinking about looking at this Final Four setup here for the men's? And I'm pretty excited. These teams are all dogs.
Yeah.
You're right. They're all older teams. They're all tough. I think UConn is the best team among the 4, but as we've seen in this tournament so far, it doesn't mean they're going to win. They have more answers, probably have more offensive answers. Miami, the team that they play, can really score. So it will be a challenge for them tomorrow, but I do think that UConn's the best team. I thought it was kind of interesting. San Diego State, not necessarily a great offensive team, but they are a tremendous defensive group. And when they came out for their open practice about an hour ago, the first thing they did, they started whacking each other with pads. They didn't even have a basketball. They were doing closeouts and blockouts and a lot of physical play, and that's exactly how they've advanced here. So it took them probably 5 minutes into practice before somebody got around to giving them a ball.
That's San Diego State, you said?
San Diego State, yeah.
All right, I like that. All right, go ahead, AJ.
Reese, what do you think about the UConn Huskies? I know the Hurley family. I'm a fan of all of what they have done. I know their enthusiasm you see on the sideline. You see Dan Hurley over there. Just he's fun to watch him coach. I know his son's on the team. They show the family in the crowd. What do you think about UConn's chances? Are they technically the favorite to win it all right now?
I think they are. I think they're clearly the most complete team here. One thing that happens is that you have this week off. They've dominated. They've beaten everybody by 15 points or more.
That's right.
And that doesn't always predict success once you get to the Final Four. But they've been the best team up to this point. So look, I think they're going to win it all. They've won 4 titles already. 3 of them in the state of Texas. They're going for their 5th overall title. 4 of them would be here, 2 in Houston. So they're right at home here for whatever reason. It's worked out that way. And the last time when we had a group of teams in the national semifinals, the only time that we've had a group of teams with a higher seed number total was 2011, and UConn won the national championship. So I sort of figured that I think that's going to happen again on Monday night.
Final Four always going to be electrifying with the crowd and the environment and everything like that. Indianapolis has hosted a few times. I've gotten a chance to see it. The city is an absolute buzz. With the women's college basketball tournament here, the home court created some scenes, and I might have only just seen a couple of them, but like Miami in Indiana, what a night. Like that was exhilarating to watch it all kind of take place. And with football having their first round of the playoffs whenever it comes, being home, having a chance to have those experiences. Do you think you ever see that for men's basketball, or will it always be neutral site? Some teams' fans will show up, some will be kind of dispersed, because it feels like the environment is not near like it will be now. And obviously some teams are able to do it. But there's some games in this tournament where it feels like it's almost a COVID-era game. And then you watch like the women's basketball, it's like home field, and then college football is getting into that. Do you see that ever happening, or is that kind of just like a part of what the men's college basketball tournament's all about?
I think it's part of what the tournament's about now. They used to do that, way back in the day, and teams got to play closer to home. They didn't even really start seeding the thing until 1979. They just sort of assigned teams geographically, and a lot of teams played at home or really close to home. But I agree with you. There is really something to be said for the atmospheres that are created. I can't wait to see it in football. I wish we would do everything. I wish we'd do everything up to the championship game, or at least the semifinals, not just that first round in football once that expands after this upcoming season. So, it's tough to beat on-campus environments, and you've seen the impact, not only is the excellent play, but the atmospheres have helped the ratings, I think, in the women's tournament. You watch it, it's kind of electrifying. You stick around and you check it out and you see how good these teams are.
Caitlin Clark.
Oh, dog.
She's something.
Bro, she's getting like 12 points. They're getting like 12 points tonight.
Would you take that? I don't know enough about it to sit here and say.
Me neither.
I haven't scouted it out, but with just her on the floor, I'd be tempted to take that.
Bingo. That's exactly what I'm doing, Reese. South Carolina hasn't lost in 2 years, I guess. They're the reigning back-to-back national champions. I understand they're very good. But in basketball, a very individual-driven sport, if you have a dog on the court and we're getting 12 points pretty much, that's hard for me not to be like, she will keep this thing within a dozen. They might lose, but I think basketball sport, it's hard not to do that. I've been captivated by those scenes over there. I mean, honestly, the women's college basketball tournament has delivered, I think personally, as has the men's college basketball with so many upsets. You're always wondering which team is going to rise up from a lower seed and get there. It's like this year, 4 of them are going to do it to get there. Is that good or bad for college basketball, you think, Reese? Good or bad?
People say they want it. Most television executives will tell you that they want the blue bloods. Here's where I stand on it, Pat. You do give up something. You give up the anticipation. There's not a ton of casual sports fan buildup for Florida Atlantic against San Diego State. But you're not going to get Coach K's last ride against his arch rival in Kansas in the other semifinal every year. So it doesn't mean the games can't be great on Saturday. You do sacrifice some buildup. So most of the time, I think what fans really like is to see some of the big boys get clipped on the first weekend, and then some other ones end up making it to the Final Four. But I do think one thing that can happen, should one of the other three, particularly if it's a Florida Atlantic or San Diego State, if they were to win the national championship, then that elevates their program. They have a chance to create the type of following and buzz that Gonzaga has.
And every year
have to do it over a long time to do it as well as Gonzaga has.
Yeah, and Gonzaga felt the wrath of one of these teams. I mean, if they win, now every tournament going forward, it's like, hey, last year we saw a 4, a 9, and a 5, and 8. Like that's the conversation now going forward forever. Hopefully, it brings a little bit more hope. You think its NIL deal is going to change this? You think NIL is potentially going to keep this going like this in college basketball, or no?
Well, we've already seen some of it. One of Miami's best players, Nigel Pack, was a terrific player for Kansas State last year. Got a nice NIL deal with the Hurricanes and transferred. And Jim Larinaga, their coach, has been able to navigate all that. There was a couple bumps in the road in the offseason, at least from some of the other players' reps. But on the floor, it hasn't shown up at all. So I think you're going to continue to see that. You've got over 1,000 guys in the transfer portal right now.
For basketball?
Many of them looking – yeah, basketball. Many of them looking for NIL deals. Many of them who were just playing last weekend and played well for teams that had advanced to the Sweet 16 or even beyond. But it's the nature of the beast right now is that guys are seeing what's out there for them, and it's hard to blame them for it.
Country roads,
take me home to the place I belong.
All you need is what? In basketball, you only need one or two guys.
That's it.
That's literally all you.
That's all you need.
That's legit, right? Am I wrong in thinking that?
No, if you get a guy or two, maybe the perfect piece to complement what you already have or your other guys coming in, you can change it really, really quickly. Pat, that brings you guys singing. I don't know. Several years ago, we were at West Virginia for game day basketball, so we did this little skit to open the show where we were singing Country Roads a cappella, walking down a country road just outside of Morgantown. And then we cut live, and this was unplanned, and we didn't tell the crowd to do this.
Yeah.
They started singing.
Oh, yeah.
They picked it up where we were. The whole crowd, it was a huge crowd. They were singing. And I'm not ashamed to tell you, I mean, I'm not a West Virginia guy or anything. I got kind of choked up. It was awesome.
Yeah,
it was one of the coolest things, man.
Hey, that's a moment. Pac-Man, literally, as soon as he sat down, sang it. I think any West Virginia person that's ever been to WVU knows. Like, I don't know how it is now, but back in the day, legitimately, midnight, pretty much every single bar that I went to, and I frequented a lot of them, like that's playing, and no matter who the hell you are, you're screaming it at the top of your lungs. It's just almost like it's like a bird call almost.
Yeah.
It's become like a bird call. So them singing it is not surprising at all. But I do love the fact that you've You got to fucking feel it, Reese. You know what I mean?
It was awesome, man.
Yeah, I bet you was. Did you crack open a couple beers?
What?
Did you throw somebody in the crowd, Reese? Did you get a little loose?
Maybe in the aftermath.
Okay,
maybe in the aftermath. Got to stay locked in the moment.
Well, I understand. You're a professional, consummate. You're incredible at what you do. Ty has a question for you, Reese.
Reese, a lot of people are saying that this could be like the least watched Final Four in a really long time. Do you think that the men's side is kind of concerned that the women's tournament has almost kind of like usurped all the buzz and like the energy of the Final Four? And if you were to like talk to, just like a casual fan or a fan of college basketball, how would you sell them on these two games this weekend and why like they'll be important to watch?
That's a great question. First of all, I do think it probably will be. It's going to be helped a little bit by the fact that it's on CBS and just because of the larger number of households that CBS is available in as opposed to when Turner has it. Sometimes those numbers are a little bit lower, but I anticipate it probably will be. In terms of selling, I don't know that there's any resentment necessarily on the part of anyone associated with the men's game. There's probably the idea that if one side grows, it helps everybody. That rising tide, raising all boats, all that kind of thing.
We're out there.
Can't quite get that out.
Yeah, we got you. I got you.
But I would say that if I were going to sell them on, I would sell them on the fact that this is an opportunity to see life-changing moments, not only for the players, coaches, the program.
What?
We've seen the effect that having this type of success can have on enrollment at schools, whether it's the Flutie effect at Boston College or Mike Vick at Virginia Tech. People get, Gonzaga saved the whole freaking university by going to the Elite Eight back in '99, or at least that was a big part of it. So I would say you're getting an opportunity to see one of these real-life dramatic moments that everybody says they love and crave, and teams that are really good. They may not be the household names, but Florida Atlantic's won more games than anybody in the country this year, and they have the nation's longest winning streak. So I think they're worthy of watching. I would sell them on the drama and the opportunity to see a team on the ground floor. And for UConn, when they cut it down, nobody in the last 25 years. I mean, good for Duke, good for Carolina, and everybody else. But the bluest of blue bloods over the last 25 years has been UConn, because if they win, we'll have won more championships than anybody here in that span.
Are you talking about men's and women's basketball?
The men's, I'm just talking men's right now, but it's certainly true with the women's side too.
You remember?
Gino Auriemma, I think, is going to be here, and I don't think he has been to the men's Final Four because his team's always playing in the women's Final Four, but he's going to be here to support Dan Hurley and the Huskies.
I wonder what it would be like for him to watch that game. You think he's intense all the time?
It's going to be weird.
You think he's enjoying the game? What do you think it is?
I don't know.
I do wonder.
Breaking it down. Yeah.
Yes, he's
always coaching.
Pissed the whole time.
You think he's pissed? That's like, remember they had that guy who was the NFL coach there for a year? These schools to change completely and maybe hang on to their coaches as well? Is that something that we could potentially see? Because you need money, right? Don't you need money and potential operation? And this Final Four can maybe bring that for some people, you think, or no?
Yeah, no, I think so. It's going to bring opportunities for Dusty May at Florida Atlantic. I think it's probably less likely to happen with Brian Dutcher. He's been at San Diego State for a long time and went there with Steve Fisher, the former Michigan coach. So he's sort of entrenched there, and we've seen through realignment that San Diego State may be about to take a step forward in the not-too-distant future, if you can believe all the stories that you hear. But Dusty May is going to have opportunities. But they've already built up the coffers at Florida Atlantic. They've given Dusty May, their coach, a contract extension. I think they've got $10 million to improve facilities. They're on their way to the American, as everybody sort of moves up as the teams moved out of the American and went to the Big 12. So I think there's an opportunity there. I mean, they just hired Tom Herman as the football coach. They had Lane Kiffin previously. So they've really enhanced the profile of their athletics program. And I think it would be naive to say that he would never leave. I don't really anticipate it this cycle because I'm not sure that there's the type of job that would entice him. But when you get a team like Florida Atlantic to the Final Four, you are, for several years, you're going to be on the radar of those quote-unquote bigger jobs. So he's going to have opportunities, I feel certain.
That beach down there is real nice too.
Hard to believe that.
Hey.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, FAU that's a beautiful part of town down there. Connor has a question for you, Reese.
Yeah, Reese, you mentioned San Diego State's practice, and we all kind of universally already have UConn in the Final Four. Did you see Miami's practice, and what's kind of the vibe from Laurinaiga and the boys?
Well, I didn't because I left after San Diego State to come out and join you guys and do certain things for the show. I've called several Miami games over the last few years. Been at their practices, seen them play a lot. They're loose. They've been around. They've got older guys, and that's just sort of how he coaches. They can be a good defensive team, but they make their money on offense, and they come out, score. They'll be loose. I don't think for a second that the moment will be too big for Miami. The question is, are they good enough to beat UConn? But I think they'll play well.
Hey, we're on the precipice of a massive Final Four weekend, Reese. Hey, I appreciate you taking time out of doing research and actual work to join us. I spoke to some winged beavers this past week. Did you hear about this?
Did you really?
Yeah. I was in a sports and business class the other day, zoomed in.
That's the finest school for boys on the planet. The Avon Old Farm School for Boys, the Winged Beavers. They got a quarterback going to Georgia, Pat.
How about it?
They're putting out some talent.
I dropped your name while I was talking. Reese Davis has obviously spoken very highly of you boys. I believe he has some connections to this school, and they all laughed. Oh, his oldest son, or your one son, I believe, was a baseball player there. Dog.
Yeah, he was. He just played baseball his last couple of years. We played football and basketball prior to that, and he was actually what they call the warden of the school, which means it's sort of like student body president, but they have him in meetings and stuff. So that's a place that was special to him and to our family.
Hell yeah. Well, I'm lucky that the only reason why I did it is because how highly you spoke of the place all season and the fact that their name is the Winged Beavers.
Great name.
That's a great name. I couldn't wait to get in there. I appreciate you, buddy.
You bet. Likewise, man.
Where'd you go to school?
College?
Yeah.
I went to Alabama.
Oh, yeah, I knew that. Why did I? Yeah. I knew that. I knew that was the case. They're out.
I've tried to forget what happened in the tournament last weekend since then.
Oh, let's remember.
Hold on.
Oh, they lost.
They're not in the Final Four.
Oh, and then how about when Pollock, friend of ours, just right in front of Saban's face, hey, Kirby's daddy.
Yeah. Dogs run the South.
Do you remember that, Reese? How do you I feel like you remain rather balanced as an Alabama grad when you could be much louder if you wanted to in the way you speak. I think you hide it well, Reese.
Well, I think the reason is, the way I look at it, you guys played. I didn't. Nobody cares where I went to school. And, in that moment.
That's not true.
Reese, I went to Syracuse, Northwestern. These people.
Come on.
This is the condescending about yourself, Reese Davis, that it always is. We do care, Reese. You're Reese fucking Davis.
No, but I love my school and all of that and, follow them and everything. But in that moment when David said that, I didn't think much of it. And maybe my antenna wasn't where it should have been, but I was like, well, this is pretty obviously true in the moment, I mean, so I don't even think Nick was that bothered by it, but maybe some of the aftermath when it was called to his attention. Now,
why are they telling
that being said, I'm sure, in fact, I know for a fact that they're using it right now in the off season, but in the moment, I'm not even sure it bothered him.
David Pollock on the wall down there in row 10.
Oh, yeah.
AJ has the last question for you, Reese.
Reese, are you worried about possibly being a low-scoring game, getting in that giant stadium in NRG there and the weird backgrounds with guys shooters? Is that still like an issue?
That's a great question.
I think it always is a concern when you go in. And I was sort of looking at it today. It's hard to tell, but, it's different than looking at a rim when you're in a normal-sized arena. Some guys handle it well, some don't. LaFonso commented that the rim seems soft, so that should help a little bit. But I probably should point out that it was in that building that the lowest scoring championship game ever played was between UConn and Butler, which was the worst important game in the history of sports. I think it was like 53-41. It was an awful, awful thing to watch. I hope we don't get that. I think we might get a low scoring game in the first semifinal tomorrow night, but hopefully it's not like that.
Okay, 131.5 is over under for the Florida Atlantic SDSU game. And then 149.5 over under for UConn and Miami. Something to think about. Great question there, AJ. We appreciate you, Reese. Have a fantastic weekend. We'll see you tomorrow morning on TV. Ladies and gentlemen, Reese Davis.
Thanks, guys.
I love that, man.
It's weird shooting in those big places, man.
Yeah. It's like...
I mean, it was even weird just coming in here.
It's a football stadium.
Yeah, as opposed to the old office.
Yeah, with the roof.
Yeah.
Because it's all, your target, your depth perception is very important when you're shooting.
Like the background. Like baseball stadiums have the dark background in center field so you can see the ball. Same thing. I feel like you get in these giant football stadiums, it just might take a little time to adjust.
So, and this is vastly different because we do that. There's some stadiums for kickers that are a lot easier. Like the uprights look wider.
Visually? Really?
Yeah,
Visually?
like the uprights look wider because the way the seats are behind it. Like there's a lot of that type of stuff. And we played in this one place in college where the net was like 30 yards behind the upright. And I'm kicking a ball and it's landing at like the bottom of the net. I'm like, oh.
Don't have it today.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
And then like somebody's like, hey, it's like 15 yards behind the net. I'm like, oh
okay.
Jesus. But that's like, there's little things that are just like indicators normally. And when those change, it can fuck you up. They're playing on what? Aircraft carriers.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Out in the middle.
Duke, Michigan State.
Yeah, wind gusts.
How would you make any shot? I don't know how you make any shot of importance in that. You know what I mean? Imagine being on the free throw line on an Air Force carrier. You're obviously
you got to play the wind, man. You just got to play the wind.
Obviously on the bay. And I know I've played street basketball. I played at Boys Park. Obviously, it's where the ballers ball and players play. I understand that you have to read that. Could you imagine a game actually mattering? Though, not just like a pickup run
to 21,
like an actual. It'd be like
top 10 battle.
Seems like it's going a little right to left here.
You have to aim 6 feet to the right.
It's like you're playing that paper.
paper
toss game. It's like all right,
with the fan.
Not enough. Okay, next one. All right, geez, what do you want from me?
Yeah, win change.
Make the fucking shot. Okay, I mean I'm trying here. They're not scared to kind of roll the dice a little bit. The NBA, I don't think you see that a lot.
No.
The NBA are like, nah. Actually, when they went into the bubble.
Yeah,
that and this
That's
year.
what guys were saying. It was super easy to shoot in there.
When they went into the bubble, they said the hoop looked this big.
Yeah.
Guys got paid because of how small it was and everything like that. What were you going to say?
This year was the first time they did the arena at the Alamo Dome when the Warriors went to San Antonio. I think that was the first time they've ever done that.
That's crazy how much that could affect you.
Yeah.
You just got to bank on like...
Well, the court is built up. You'll see, I assume, because every other time I watch the Final Four, the court is built up high, so the bench seats are down low.
Step up.
I always worry about a dude going to chase a ball out of bounds and diving off the court, and you get a 10-foot drop.
Let's not take any headers out there, boys. And girls. Are they in? What are they? Are they in a stadium?
I don't know.
I'm not
It's
sure.
smaller. I know where
it's
where
definitely
they're
not
playing is
NRG.
smaller.
What'd you say, AJ?
I know it's smaller because the guys is like 75,000 capacity. The girls is like 20-something.
Yeah, and the ticket for the girls is like 2-3x what it is for the men's.
It's been awesome to watch.
Yeah. Same exact over.
It's in Dallas.
LSU has a rapper on their team.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Flauge.
Holy fuck, dog.
The coach has cool outfits.
Okay, I like that.
Mm-hmm.
Shout out to women's college basketball doing their thing.
Doing it.
Hey, will that lead to the WNBA, which tips off
in May?
May 23rd, I want to say.
That's right. Got the New York Liberty.
Yeah.
Las Vegas Aces.
What?
The Sparks.
Indiana Fever.
Sky. Who's that?
You guys got. There's a WNBA team. Are they in Indy?
Yeah, the Indiana Fever. I've been in a couple games.
Oh, yeah.
They play at the Pacers' place?
Oh, yeah.
No, it's their place.
Okay.
Pacers
That's
play.
what I mean.
Yeah, Pacers play at their place.
Let's go to the 5 Energy phone line. We got a massive weekend ahead. Let's get to it. Hey, big weekend for watching shit.
Yeah,
Huge.
Awesome.
Legit.
Mm-hmm. And John Wick's out.
Final Four. WrestleMania, both Saturday and Sunday night to watch.
Unreal. Do we have a golf tournament this weekend?
Wow.
I assume.
Yeah,
there is.
what is it? The Valero or something?
Oh, okay.
Bruce would-
Next week is the Masters.
Yeah, Masters next week.
Holy fuck. Hey, it's a great time.
Yeah,
Let's go.
Baseball. Weekend.
We're in a good spot. That's great news.
So is Reese done? Like he does football, basketball, and then he just chills until football again? Or does
I
he-
hope so, bro.
That's a grind.
I saw on his Wikipedia he actually does international soccer for ESPN. So I don't know if they have a couple during the summer.
I wonder if he does that from his house, though. Like, I think the amount he travels.
They might be
I
sending him
can't
to Uruguay
imagine.
next week.
Yeah.
If he's,
What's happening over
he's
there?
calling something on ESPN Plus, the Uruguay League on ESPN Plus.
Uruguay,
Honduras.
Venezuela.
Yep.
What was that? That was the CONCACAF. Nope. That's the...
We run the CONCACAF.
We run CONCACAF.
Right.
Yeah.
What's the name of their cup?
The Europe?
No, well
It's
certainly
in
not.
South America, but
Central. Let's go to the phones. Oh, the Europes?
Certainly not.
Certainly not. But you did name a trophy.
You did.
That baby Mitt.
what do they have?
Actually, do we
Copa.
have... Now
There it
it's
is.
time. Copa.
Copa Americana.
Yeah, there it is.
Boom.
Okay.
You were
so
close.
Reese is calling that?
Sounds like it.
Yeah, he does international soccer.
How does Reese look so good all the time and he never sleeps? The guy doesn't sleep. All he does is work all day. Appreciate him doing that. Let's go to, before we go to the phones, let's wrap up the week with the only way we know how, especially with what just took place. Ladies and gentlemen, we started this last year mostly because of how much this man loves studying tape, not just watching highlights like all the other losers do. This guy loves the draft process, the draft cycle. He could have been a scout in another life. That is an actual real thing that almost took place. Instead, he's a content creator right here at PMI. It is time for version 1, volume 1 of season 2 of Mitz Mock Draft. Here we go, Mitt.
Does he want the mobile mic here?
Yeah, mobile mic, Mitt, please. And here's a stick for you. If you'd like to work it. Holy shit! I see some alarming draft choices.
Here we go.
Okay.
And
Mitt's dad coaching in the NFL. Mitt has been in the NFL his entire life.
Yes.
Last year, he did not fare well in this, but year 2 is always better than year 1.
Bingo.
Yes, I did get last place between all the other people that do this for networks and stuff like that. So we're going to just try and get a little better every year.
That's right.
There you go.
1%.
Step by step.
Well, in
Yep,
this
let's
particular
go.
case, would have to be 25 to 20%, depending upon
Just about.
how many people we're counting. Same thing, though. 10 grand bonus to you if you get top 3.
Here you go, Mitt.
Let's
Top 3.
fucking go.
Let's go, Mitt.
Top 60%.
Here we go. You can do that.
You can do that.
That's a D. I can do that.
Hell yeah.
No, that's passing grade. Let's go.
Let's go.
All right, let's start with number 1 here. We're Carolina traded up, and a lot of people, including the sports books, they have C.J. Stroud as the favorite. I've been watching the tape. I've been asking around.
Boom.
And
I did listen to Michael Lombardi.
I've listened to a couple different people, and one person might have influenced this pick more than other people, but I have Bryce Young going number 1, Carolina Panthers. I think that's their guy. I think they're setting up a bunch of smoke screens right now, just kind of playing the game, doing their due diligence, that whole game. Yeah, Josh McCown.
Hey, I'll tell you that we're
Josh
playing
McCown's guy might be number 2 here. Going to the Texans, I think the Texans are just going to end up falling with C.J. Stroud here because they probably think that they're going to get Bryce Young. They probably think he's going to fall, but then he doesn't. They're like, oh shit, what do? We still need to face the franchise. C.J. Stroud, that's your guy. And then Will Anderson,
Nobody's trading a 3. How about that, AJ?
Wow.
Mitt doesn't see a trade 2-3 for another quarterback. He thinks Will Anderson goes at 3. Your thoughts, AJ?
That's an interesting take you have there, Mitt. It could happen, but yeah, I would think people are going to be jockeying to get up there for quarterback.
Yeah, everybody's going to be jocked to get up to 3 as they're jockeying.
Big time.
Maybe. Who knows? Mitt, hey, we still got time. This is not his final version.
That's right.
Just
1.0, yeah.
Talk about a guy that is jacked. This dude is absolutely fucking jacked. He had, I think, 14 sacks 2 years ago. Would have been the best player out of the draft. Wasn't eligible. Came back for his junior year. Fucking 15 sacks in less fucking games.
What?
An absolute dog. It doesn't matter where you put him. He's going to rush the passer. He's not playing coverage. Hand in the dirt, standing up. It does not fucking matter. He is going to get sacks. He is going to get production. And that's what they lost with J.J. Watt retiring. So put him in there, plug and play right away, guy.
Him going from Alabama's facilities to Arizona's facilities will be a little bit of a culture shock, but the city is awesome.
Yep.
Hopefully the paycheck's enough. We got Anthony Richardson going to the Colts here.
Yeah.
Watching him throw at the combine was absolutely fucking electric. There is a sense that I think somebody could trade up to 3 and take Anthony Richardson, but
maybe
right now,
in 2.0.
Yeah,
maybe
Seattle.
3.0.
Yeah, right now I just don't know if there's enough buzz, but just fucking crushed his pro day. I just see him in Shane Steichen's offense would be absolutely electric.
Yep, agreed.
He would be a fucking dog.
Hell yeah.
We
Come
got
on home.
Number 5, the Seahawks here. There's a lot of buzz about the Seahawks, talking to Richardson, talking to Levis, talking to quarterbacks. They just signed Geno to a 3-year deal, I'm pretty sure.
Yep.
So I think they're just going to end up plugging and playing Tyree Wilson. He is an absolute dog.
Okay.
He's like 6'6", fucking huge, plays D end, can play D tackle. I mean, he's going to play somewhere on their defensive line. So
fuck yeah.
Let's just throw him in there, plug and play guy, and then maybe the best player in the draft falling all the way to 6 because of certain issues that he might have. He might not. We don't know.
Interesting.
We don't know. We're just having him
That pro
fall.
day.
Yeah.
Yikes.
That pro day just optically made everybody immediately think with what happened at the combine and everything going on. MCDC?
Yeah, did Mitt know what MCDC said about Jalen
I just don't see him falling this far. This talented of a player, I don't see him falling this far down 6'6".
Great football player.
Great football player. There was also a thing, he weighed in at 300 pounds to start the year at Georgia. He was up to like 323 at his pro day. So, I mean, maybe that's part of it. He does play D tackle. He's probably trying to get up a little bit of weight. Might be a Shippard. I don't know. There's rumors.
Whoa, that's not an MCDC guy.
That's not from us.
Nope.
That's what's
People are
being
saying
said.
Stuff. People are saying stuff on the internet. That is not an Emmett report. That is, or not a Mitt report. Sorry.
Either way.
That is a internet report.
Will Levis.
We have Will Levis falling to 7, and then this is a value pick by the Raiders here. They probably see a lot of arm talent in this guy, a lot of size talent. He looks like an NFL quarterback. He's an absolute dog. And when you turn on the tape, he has a lot of picks that are actually drops from his receivers. Really not his fault, so we'll see where he ends up actually going. And then the Falcons, I just wanted to
So you
give
think
them-
the Raiders see Jackson Smith and Jigba on the board and they go, nope, just sign Jimmy. Let's get another quarterback.
Well, I was thinking that they could get another weapon, but they do have Hunter Renfrow paid. They do have Devontae Adams paid. They did just trade Darren Waller, so I was thinking, maybe they could get Kincaid in here, like a tight end. I think he's probably the best tight end in the class. He goes to Utah. He might jump into the top 10. But
maybe 2.0.
Okay.
2.0.
We'll see. They could use a lot of help on defense as well, but I don't know. And then another team that could use a lot of help on defense is the Atlanta Falcons, but they also really could use another receiver. And this dude's an absolute beast. He won the combine. I mean, came in, showed out here in Indy, and then also balled out on his pro day, is fast, ran 4.4. He's good. There's just nothing on tape that says that he is not the best receiver in the class. When he played 2 years
Ohio
ago,
State, AJ. Hell yeah.
AJ, do you know how many yards he had 2 years ago?
4,000.
I have no idea what AJ said, but it was like 1,600. He's a fucking beast.
AJ, you're wrong.
Yep.
He was 2,400 off.
Oh, well.
What
that'll happen. And then
don't let him say that.
With number 9, I think really if you're the Bears, you're sticking with Justin Fields by trading away that pick. You got to get him some protection. Peter Skronowski. I mean, a lot of people say that.
Yep.
Pete Skronowski.
Sorry. A lot of people say that he might suffer from AQ Shipley disease and he might have to play guard. Well, they're paying guards a shit ton of money in free agency, and also the Bears, they need a guard. They just need offensive. They need offensive.
And he's
linemen,
in
they need
Northwestern.
offensive
Come
linemen.
on.
Hometown boy.
I mean, he's right there. They're in his hometown.
Ryan Poles, offensive lineman. Skronowski.
Yep. He should change his name before the draft.
He better, right?
Maybe go higher.
Yeah.
And then you got Bijan Robinson there, 10 to the Eagles. Shout out, Move the Sticks.
Oh, yeah. Shout out, Move the Sticks. I did read this in one of his mock drafts, and I might have just loved the idea so much that I put it in mine. I mean, we got Booby Miles Sanders. I mean, he's probably getting out of there. He hasn't
Already
re-signed.
With Carolina.
Oh, yep, there we go. I knew that. And, I mean, this dude is the best running back in college last year. He had 1,500 yards, is an absolute beast. He split carries, too. I mean, 1,500 yards, splitting carries in this fucking age of college. Like, that's wild. He's just probably one of the best players in the draft. I know it's high to take a running back up here, but, I mean.
Why not?
Fuck it. You only live once.
That baby, Mitt.
Let's go, man.
Proud of you, buddy.
Good job.
Can't wait to see how much changes from 1.0, 2.0 to 3.0 to draft day 0.0.
Can't wait.
Mitt, good work, pal. AJ, what are your thoughts on his top 10?
The Bijan Robinson going 10. When I watched that dude play, Bijan. Correct.
There you go. Yeah, like Dijon.
Yeah,
Skornowski. We're just disrespecting. This is our draft spectacular.
I love mustard.
Big John. Is that what you
But I'm
said?
going to tell you, I do not like Mustard, but I love this guy as a player. He can jump. Watching him jump cut in the hole is what freaked me out as a defender. Like, how do you stop this? I don't know.
He was an unbelievable football player at Texas. It was fun to watch. We were at 2 Texas games this year, so I got to watch a lot of tape of his. He was awesome. Old Cuz from Alabama also looked very smooth.
Jahmyr Gibbs.
Out of Georgia Tech, then
Yeah.
Alabama. He looked smooth in the combine as well, but everybody's just talking about Big John being the guy.
That's right.
Hell yeah.
Let's go to the 500 phone line. Good luck out there, mate. All you got to do is get top 3.
Hey,
Let's go.
Yeah.
Who won last year? Schrags.
Trades. Yeah.
Killed it.
And he also said, stop fucking tipping picks. We can all do it.
He did say that.
Say that as well.
Do you remember that, AJ, when Schrags said that?
Schrags did?
Yeah, he basically said, this year, let's just enjoy the draft. You know, like, we can all tip picks if we want to. And we're like, whoa, what are you talking about? We didn't even know this was a thing. And then we realized, like, it does appear to be the young insiders that really take advantage of the moment. And they tweet out picks 6 to 7 minutes before they're on television.
Yeah.
And it's great for us.
It is.
Love it.
Yeah. Ari Mirov said, oh, yeah, Shregs, we'll watch this, fuckface. And then tipped every pick in the first round.
32 straight.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Had them all.
32 straight tipped it. We appreciated his service, but it does feel like there's an insider's kind of
Yeah, they don't like that.
almost.
It's all right, Ari. He was at the league meetings this year.
Right.
Boom. And you saw him. She's on TV, too.
Boom. Roger Goodell's out of frame.
Yep.
Ari Mirov stands up. Right on frame.
Yep.
Great to see him. Guy used to do real estate. Now he's just an aggregator of news and a news breaker. We appreciate him. Let's go to the 5 Energy phone line and keep it moving. Let's go to Russell in California. What's going on, Russell?
Hey, boys. How we doing?
Keep moving. Sounds like you are on the move. What do you want to talk about?
Yeah, I'm at a baseball game right now. I'm a Seahawks fan. Okay. So I'm asking you guys if you think we should go after Anthony Richardson and build for the future, or try and win now and go Jalen Carter or Will Anderson.
Okay, great question there, Russell. That is seemingly going to be the talking point about the Seahawks at 5.
Yeah.
Could move to 3 to get a quarterback if they wanted to. 5 is a very powerful negotiating piece there. We'll be fascinated to see what they do. Gino, 2-year deal. Anthony Richardson, they're saying he can't play yet. That's what everybody's saying. Like, he's going to have to wait. It's like, that would be a great setup, and Pete Carroll allegedly loved him. So, I mean, maybe.
Wasn't it him that said, too, like it felt different with Seattle when he met with them? Like there was a better connection with those guys than anybody else?
Yeah, great vibe. And if you remember, DK Metcalf took his shirt off. Pete Carroll, they have those types of situations where they do draft for that. And Gino, I mean, he's been around, been there, done that. Just got a 2-year deal. He's comfortable.
Yeah.
I mean, that would be a good situation for them with a young quarterback that maybe needs some time, and what everybody else is saying.
Yeah, I guess it would be tough to draft that high and take a quarterback that you know is not going to play for a couple years. But if you truly are thinking about the future, and you're in love with the guy, you think he is your next guy, you take him.
Yeah, because Packers traded into the first round to get their quarterback, but they didn't trade in the top 3, which is what they did with Trey Lance, which is why that situation
not good.
I don't understand how that we've gotten here. Just unfortunate timing of injuries.
Yeah.
Let's go to Jerry in Arizona on the 5 Energy phone line. You go to Chef Bo's, Jerry.
Hey, no, I don't go to Chef Bo's. I got to check that out. But how you boys doing?
Hey, keep it moving, Jerry. Thank you for calling in. What do you want to talk about, brother?
Hey, no, I was just wondering, Pat, why are you guys not talking about Gardner Minshew over there in Indianapolis? I mean, I know you guys had a geriatric quarterback, got you the 4th pick overall. You're over here talking about drafting quarterbacks. Minshew down there competing with Trevor Lawrence in Jacksonville. He was the only person that thought he was in competition with Trevor, let's be honest. Goes up, hangs out with Sirianni and the boys, gets some of that dog mentality, right? What's the boy got to do to get a little love here? Give him a shot.
Jerry, I'm on your side, okay? I'm a Gardner Minshew fan. Remember, if you do recall, at Philadelphia, he asked Sirianni what it needs to do to be a starter over Jalen. And Sirianni, I believe, said, we're going with Jalen. Like, you got
nothing.
Sorry.
Yeah, sorry about it. And that ended up working. Obviously, he saw something in Jalen. But I think Gardner Minshew believes, for good reason, that he could play some meaningful minutes for a team. I'm not sure he came to Indianapolis saying, I'm either starter or I'm not. But it's great to have him on the roster. If we need to go out there with Gardner Minshew, I'm comfortable, AJ. I'm comfortable with it.
I think out of any guy that I guess isn't viewed as like a franchise starter, don't you feel as good with Gardner as you would with anybody else in the league?
If Steichen's offense is going to look exactly how it looked like with Jalen,
yes.
I don't want to say like that is as long as you can make throws and are smart, like that's a lot of hard things to do. Making throws, not easy. Being smart, not easy. These are very difficult tasks.
Having moxie, not easy.
Right.
There you go.
Gardner has all these things, so it's like I would be very comfortable with old Gardner Minshew going out there for the Colts. We're not winning the Super Bowl, I don't think, but I do like that we're potentially in a much better spot than we were last year.
In the one opportunity he pretty much had last year when Jalen was out against the Cowboys, he threw for like 360 yards and 3 touchdowns too. I mean, granted, their skill players are better than the Colts are, but still,
levels above.
I mean,
the Colts.
big time. But that doesn't mean like
big time. We got Jonathan Taylor in the back.
but
their O-line actually
AJ
plays
Brown, Devontae Smith, They got
Dallas Goedert.
Yeah, they got some good ball.
Wes Watkins. Their O-line is unbelievable.
But that doesn't mean Gardner can't win here.
Bingo.
I agree. And we're happy to have Gardner here. Shout out Jerry calling in from Arizona. Let's go to Patrick in Jacksonville on the 5 Energy phone line. What's going on, Patrick?
Hey, Pat, how we doing?
Keep it moving.
Hey, guys, I just got a couple of questions. I just cracked open a Bud Light and decided to call you guys.
Why?
And first question you brought up was Russell Wilson having a bad year. And if he comes back and has a MVP year, does that qualify him for a comeback player of the year, or you have to be an injured player to qualify for a comeback player of the year? And the other thing is, I'm down here in Clanton, and I can't gamble. I can't hammer Dahn. Do you have any updates of when they're going to have some gambling down here? Do you know anything about what's happening with that?
Patrick, where are you from originally? You Chicago?
Chicago, yes, sir.
Yeah,
Hello.
sounds like it. You're a good man. Thank you for calling in, pal. The comeback player of the year thing is always a big conversation. I wish Tone Diggs was here for this. Because I think Tone believes he's really brought it into my life and my attention. I think they do give it to if you suck and then you get good again.
Absolutely.
And Tone believes like you should have to be hurt. Like this is an injury type award. I'm not sure what the rules are.
Yeah, it was. I believe Tony's big thing is there should be a most improved because Geno Smith won comeback player of the year, but like he's a backup quarterback in Seattle last year while Russell Wilson was playing.
There it is.
There wasn't any sort of like comeback for Geno Smith technically. It was just his first year starting and he played unbelievable.
And when it comes to like sports gambling being legalized in Florida, I wish I could tell you, but
not gonna happen.
It's gonna be a while.
I think it's gonna be a lot of lobbying going on.
Yeah.
A lot of tribes.
One tribe.
Diggs down there. Diggs down there working.
I believe Seminole tribe. That's potentially where Tone is.
Yeah.
Tone, brand new baby on his birthday weekend. Going down there to try to get that done in Florida.
That's right.
What a man.
Smart guy.
What a good guy. Before we get out of here, there's a news story hitting feels like a Friday news dump. Obviously, everybody wants us to disappear. Eagles Nation is reporting that under Andy Reid, the Eagles used to do Taco Tuesdays and Fast Food Fridays, where the facility was stocked with pizza, chicken wings, fried foods, etc. Chip Kelly ended these traditions when he was hired. However, they are still alive in Kansas City. And this is a beautiful way to bring up the fact that back in the day, I used to, have teammates that would hammer a beer or 5 on a Saturday night before a game on Sunday while eating some nachos with actual cheese on it and maybe a slice of za.
Ooh.
They had been looking forward to that meal all week, and it was delightful, delicious, and the conversation and mood that was set with those foods very relaxed before the big game tomorrow. Now, that particular team would go on to win like the most in the history of the NFL over a 10-year period.
Nice.
Then when nutritionists came in, more specifically, Chip Kelly brought that Oregon super science mentality into the NFL. It kind of transformed everything. I'm happy to hear that Andy Reid has not given up on the old school mentality whenever this food nutrition aspect of the NFL has become a very real thing. Your thoughts on it, AJ, as you lived through that portion of the NFL, as did I.
You talking about those Saturday meetings. So, yeah, like you get done to their meetings in the hotel as a team, you break up, do all that. And then it's probably, 8:30, 9 o'clock, you break out, you go to, we'd call it snack, but it's a full meal. But you're right, when you think back on it, like that's some of your best conversations, sitting there hanging, talking to your buds. The trainers, usually there's always a table. I'd sit with the trainers towards the end of that time before I'd go to my room. And then some of the guys you see making some of the biggest plays on Sundays, like you said, are eating nachos, pizza, and they're always looking forward to a giant ice cream situation that they either eat there or eat on the way to the room.
Oh, my God, the bowl. I forgot about it. Milkshakes became prevalent there towards the end.
They started having when I first got in the league, they didn't have blenders, and they had blenders in there later.
Yeah, dude, it's like 60-ounce milkshakes as they're going to bed the night before.
Huge styrofoam cups like this, like just giant styrofoam cups with milkshakes, yeah.
And then something happened, and I think it was Chip Kelly. I honestly believe it was Chip Kelly. He started making, remember, like each player would have their name on a cup. It was their protein shake that was made specifically for them with their allergies and their weight and their goals every single morning after their piss was tested to see how hydrated they were from the night before. That was every morning you walked into the Eagles building. That thing made its way around the NFL quickly. Hey, have you heard what they're doing in Philly? What are they doing? Okay, so like meals are like specific for the player. And we're like, oh, that's awesome. And they're like, no. Like specific for the player, like actually like, hey, you need this many proteins, you need this many things, like all down to a science pretty much, which in theory, right, smart.
Yeah, for sure.
In theory, it's smart. And I think now it's kind of like much more understood. But when you take a bunch of old dogs and just kind of say, hey, you ain't eating that meal that you got you here. Here you go. Here's some fucking asparagus. You need to lose some weight, too. Get your fucking piss out there. Guys are a little bit different. It's a little different human stepping on that football field, a little different vibe around the conversations. But Andy Reid said, we win football around here and we eat good.
That's
we
right.
don't care.
That's right. And I think they did used to have cold beer Saturdays, but they had to get rid of those, unfortunately.
Only publicly.
Oh.
Well.
Those were, the food thing, the more we learn, the less we understand.
Yeah. That's right.
Everybody has a 6-pack, but then people I see that have an 8-pack eat pizza every day.
How does it work?
What does that mean?
Pac-Man.
Genetics are a real son of a bitch, aren't they?
Ocho, what? He says he's
McDonald's every day.
McDonald's.
He could still.
Floyd, you ever see remember the 24/7 with Floyd Mayweather? He's going through Taco Bell at 2 a.m. after he just got done running, getting 30 things.
Pac-Man only eats candy.
It's disgusting.
It's the only thing I've seen him eat.
Nerds and gummy bears.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Hardee's breakfast in the morning and then just candy all day.
3% body fat. That's what he said.
Yeah.
Get the fuck out of here.
Prick.
I've pretty much been this size since, high school, he said.
Ever? Mm-hmm.
Same size shoe, same body.
Mm-hmm.
I might have gained a pound or two here or there, he said. What a life. How awesome would that be?
Nice.
And he still can just dunk if he had to. Just do whatever he wants. And he won the easy carry contest yesterday from Bud Light.
Hell yeah.
We hope everybody participates and potentially wins $15,000. Get creative from our friends at Bud Light. Hell of a week, boys.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
How about it?
Big thanks to Reese Davis, JC Tretter, Ian Rapoport, obviously AJ Hawk. Great to be back in your presence on a daily basis. Shout out to Pac-Man traveling out here. Him being so close and willing to drive is awesome.
Yeah, it's sweet. It's like almost as if it would be even cooler if like there was another host in Ohio that would drive out and do that sometimes.
Yeah, it's like double the time length. So that means.
Oh, is it?
I don't live 90 minutes away.
I did not know that.
Yeah, it would be.
For the record.
It is a double, like where he is in Ohio.
Okay.
Good news.
Right.
Yeah.
To get to this place. Not easy to get people to Indiana. Not a lot of folks living in Indiana. The fact that he's an hour and a half away is beautiful. And the fact that he doesn't mind driving in has been glorious. He has added so much to the office.
Yeah.
Very, very thankful for him. Almost crashed a go-kart yesterday.
Yep.
Yeah. Dented the golf course out here.
Are those fast?
They're quick.
They look like fun.
They're a good time. They're quick.
Can
They're not
you
fast.
drift? Do they drift at all? Like, can you?
I don't know if you could. It would scuff up. It would scuff the shit out of the court.
Can't do that.
So I don't know.
I mean, outside, like out in the parking lot.
I think it would have to be a real hard turn. Like with the speed that it's at, I think you would have to really.
Yeah, you might flip it.
Okay.
You would have to aggressively flip it, though. Like aggressively turn it to drift it. I think. I don't think it's just like a natural drifter. It doesn't have that much juice.
No handbrake.
But I think you could. I think you could definitely drift a little bit. Now, I drifted a Shelby Mustang into a tree, so what do I know?
Oh, was that on like a crowded road somewhere?
Yeah, it was a lot of potholes. It was
parking in your driveway.
Why'd you ask questions you know the answer?
Prick.
I just wanted to hear it from you. I didn't know if this was another time where you were trying to drift in your driveway and you ran into a tree.
It was my driveway. A house was for sale for a price that I could afford and had a circle in front of it. What am I supposed to do? I got a car that has 665 horsepower.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Rear wheel drive. Sorry. Okay? Out in the middle of the woods. Boo-hoo.
Yeah.
So
did the airbags go off?
Oh, yeah. Whole thing. I mean, it was a scene, bro. It was a scene, dude. It was a scene. Fucking horn wouldn't stop either because the goddamn airbags went off.
Yep.
So, like, I was deep in there. My house was deep in the woods. But people were like, is that an alarm?
What's
going on?
Everything okay back there? No.
Jerry
Everything's
Jones.
terrible. Thanks.
Remember when AJ had that slingshot and he was drifting it all over parking lots and stuff, and he's like, "Here you go, Pat. You can borrow it. It's December."
No, it was the slingshot people. They said after AJ Hawk gets done abusing the shit out of it, you'll be able to get it in the middle of February in Indiana. It's
Sound good?
Is this the one that has like no roof and everything? They're like, yeah.
November to March.
I don't know if that's going to work, but it's a sweet car.
I had it like December, January, so it wasn't much better for me. What are you
Sweet
talking
car, though.
It's fun. Yeah, it was fun. It felt very scary at times when I took it on some like back roads and the car's coming my way as you're sitting 2 inches off the ground. Like you're getting clipped by every rearview mirror.
Okay, sounds like there's some downside. I've never drove it. I guess that would be an experience.
It's a stick, though. It was fun. It's a stick. It was cool.
Oh, you know how to drive manual?
Mm-hmm.
Me too. I guess that's not a thing everybody knows how to do anymore. Like very little.
I think very few people know. How many cars are left with sticks?
Not many.
No.
My Jeep that I bought in Mecum, that's why it was so expensive.
That's right.
Yeah, where is that? Have you been driving that?
It's in a barn. Turned on last week. Let's
go.
Tim jumped it?
No, it's been plugged in. Yeah, it's actually been plugged in, so we don't have to jump it every time because we had to move it, put something in there the other day. Shout out, Tim. Shout out to you for allowing this to be what we do every single day. We're going to get the fuck out of here. We're going to have a great weekend watching a lot of amazing things.
Yeah.
And then when we're back on Monday, look out.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Look out, AJ. You all are the best people on earth. Thank you all so much. Mitt, great mock draft.
Everyone, Mitt. Thank you.
Good job, Mitt.
Can't wait to see 2.0. We'll probably get updates on a lot of things coming over the weekend. Like Lamar Jackson, what will that be next week? Aaron Rodgers, what will that be next week? Will we 1 week closer to the draft spectacular? What news will we learn? Or will it continue to be a news dryland? We shall see. Ian Rapoport's on vacation. Tell him we said hello on the Twitter. And have a great one. We're going to Chef Bo's. Goodbye.